ended at about 16. And if not for him making that gaffe,
See, he made such a little splash in the scene politically. That's why I don't remember him.
well, I mean, he was leading. I mean, he was winning. He was going to win. He was going to be the next president, and then
That's what he says anyway, right?
yeah. Uh,
Mm-mm.
wow, that's kind of weird. Derek Chauvin was stabbed 22 times, Eric. Any sympathy? Yeah, I know. I mean,
If there's anything I'd like to do for this podcast going forward, I'd like you to be able to moderate the chat a bit more because I don't appreciate stuff. Some of the stuff Scotoma says being slid.
well, look,
When you say that
Eric, this is better
players and
left
drag
for.
people have mental illnesses,
Well, look, Eric, this is a
you
conversation.
have to address
Listen,
that.
listen. This is a conversation we need to have off the air. But I will say this: it, if I believe in free speech, then I can't.
I'm not saying you should censor them. I'm saying you should address it in this
I
show.
did address it. Did I not address it? I said that's ridiculous. I did. Go back and listen, Eric. I did address
Maybe you
it.
did, but I didn't hear that.
Well,
because
if
maybe
you didn't
my
hear
mic
it, it's
cut out or
because you
something.
didn't hear it, not because I didn't address it. I addressed it. I said, look, that's not cool. Eric, you know me better than anybody, and I don't allow any of that. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to ban somebody because of something they feel or say. You know what I mean? I mean, is it
And
wrong?
you know what? I think you're also lenient on him a little too much sometimes
No.
because I feel like he is actually a troll because he keeps changing on what his reasoning behind why he feels the way he does.
Well,
Like,
look, Eric.
either that or he doesn't even know what he feels, and he just says the first thing that comes to mind, parroting stuff that he's heard on the Daily Wire from Ben Shapiro and one of those other chuckle fucks over there.
Well, that could be. All right, there we go.
I kind of hate the fact that we do all these tournaments all the time, and we don't do any free thinking topics, and we need to get back to doing that more. And I think we need a discussion on what critical thinking is. I think that would be a boon to certain people.
Eric, if you remember when we started the show, I'm gonna assuage your fears here, Eric. Okay.
I just feel like all these tournaments we strayed from what we originally set out to do.
Eric, just listen before you speak, dude. A lot of times you cut people off and you don't even realize that the answer was already there. Okay, so just listen to me. Okay, just give me a couple of minutes without interruption. All right. when we decided to continue with the show, right? It was originally, I agree with you. It was critical thinking, and skeptical topics, right? Scotoma, that's not true. That's you know what, Scotoma, that's funny because I feel like a lot of people on the right. I'm neither right or left. Okay, but here's the thing: I've never once said you can't say A, B, or C. Have I, Scotoma? So, but that doesn't mean I don't wholeheartedly disagree with you on stuff. And we've had it out before about different issues, but we've also agreed on a lot of issues. This is what I say. I don't think there is technically a left and right, right? I think there's the American people and there's politicians who want to divide everybody. I don't think we're too far off on anything, to be honest with you. And Eric, that's what I'm telling you. I don't think you know what? We did stray from what we originally did on this show, Eric. We started. If you remember correctly, we started this show. Actually, if you remember correctly, it was Lumen and I started this show and it was about skepticism.
Being also, I want to just go more quick. Being factually incorrect about something isn't an opinion. It's being
Eric,
factually incorrect about something.
Eric, I just told you give me a couple minutes, all right?
Mm.
So just give me a couple minutes. I'm going to address everything so we can continue with in good faith, right? So when we first started this show was about critical thinking and skeptical topics and aliens and religion and stuff like that. But don't you think that we got to a point, Eric, where we kind of rehashed everything over and over and over? Don't you think we got to that point? I mean, in all honesty, like what more could we have addressed? It's the reason why. Do you remember the show Bullshit, Eric?
Yeah.
The reason that the show Bullshit ceased to exist wasn't because they didn't have a plethora of topics to go through. It wasn't because of the ratings, right? It's because they did everything they set out to do and more, right? Penn and Teller are billionaires, and they could have kept that show going into perpetuity. You see what I'm saying, Eric?
Yeah.
The reason that we got away from doing a lot of that stuff is because we wanted to have a little more fun on the show.
I
right?
know, but it just seems like that's all we've done lately, and
right. Okay. I agree with you.
In the same exact.
But here's the thing, Eric. There's 3 people on this show, right? We need to talk to Breakman about these things, and I don't want to disclude Breakman from these discussions because he's every bit as part of the show as I am or you are.
Yeah, but waiting for him means that we have to wait for him, and by the time that happens, the show's ready to go.
I tell you what, Eric. When we're done today, we'll talk about it. Okay? When we're done with today's show, we will talk about it. And maybe we'll start fresh in the new year, and we'll think about maybe doing a couple of new segments, because the show is always evolving, Eric. It's always evolved. And maybe, if Breakman feels the same way that I thought we were having a lot of fun with these tournaments, actually, Eric, because these tournaments, these tournaments are something different, right? It's never the same thing. It's never, we don't, and also there's plenty of topics to cover. I mean, you can make a suggestion, Eric. That's why I always try to make it inclusive. Like, what do you think we should do for next tournament, Eric? What do you think we should do for next tournament, Breakman? I have my ideas, but maybe you and Breakman are thinking that maybe we should do something different than tournaments. Maybe we could do it every other month. I mean, that might be something. But here's the thing, Eric. If we go back to just simply a free-for-all, who's going to come up with those topics every week? Am I going to be the one? Are you going to be the one? Or are we going to collaborate and decide, like, this week is going to be me, next week's going to be you, just like we do with, posting the show. You see? See what I mean? Now, let me address...
Okay, so we can do tournaments to break it up, but, like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put in a free-for-all topic, and whenever you feel like it'd be a good time to do that,
okay,
do that.
Because this month we're only doing 2 weeks of tourney, Eric. So yeah, let's do what you want to do for a free-for-all. I'm all for that. I've never been opposed to any of you guys' ideas. I mean, that kind of makes me feel like you think that, like, I'm like an overlord and we're only going to do what I want to do. That's simply untrue, Eric. If you look at the format today, as opposed to even, I don't know, 2-3 years ago, it's completely different, is it not? I mean, we still have standing things from the first show, like the Stinkos, because everybody enjoys the Stinkos. It's the favorite part of everybody's the thing when it comes to RPGrinders, whether it's us as host or the audience. I've gotten feedback on that. Like, that's something. It used to be, you know what it used to be, Eric? Do you remember what the Stinkos used to be? If you can think way back, do you remember? It was pet peeves. Do you remember pet peeves?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that got stale, and so we started doing the Stinkos, and Stinkos have been there ever since. And I like doing the Stinkos because that gives me a chance to blow off a little bit of steam and everybody else as well. You guys see how the media attacked Elon for not bowing to them. tell me Operation Mockingbird is still not active. Skodoma, you're talking about mainstream media. Elon Musk is not a great dude. I'm sorry to break that to you, Skodoma, but he's not a good guy. He's a billionaire that cares about his billions. That's it.
Recently, he apparently endorsed white pride.
Yeah.
Which is a red flag for a lot of things.
Right. So that's the thing. Yeah, I know what you're saying, Skodoma. There's a lot of problems with. See, here's the thing, Eric. When I talk to somebody like Skodoma, he has a difference of opinion, right? And we may agree to disagree on a lot of things, Eric. And we do disagree on a lot of things. I'm not a leftist. I'm not a rightist. I am.
Neither, so get your act together, Skodoma. I am not a leftist.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. And I will vouch for you, Eric. You're not either. We've criticized
I hate most liberals because they're
I do too.
lily-livered people who, the bleeding heart types who pretend to actually care about things when in reality and push comes to shove, they don't.
Right. So and you know what I found out through talking to Skodoma, because I talked to him in other forums, Eric, not via phone or anything, but I've learned a lot by listening to what people on the quote other side have to say. And to be honest with you, Eric,
I just find it curious that Skodoma says he's not on the right or the left, but he keeps parroting all the stuff that's on the right. At some point, you kind of have to admit you are.
He's done more to save the environment than anyone. Skodoma, you realize that Tesla, right? Tesla is, and that's not true. I believe the scientists that are trying to do different things to help the environment are the real heroes.
He just owns
of the
the
world.
company. He doesn't manage.
Right.
It.
Skodoma, he owns Tesla, which he had seed money from. He never earned a fucking penny.
Not even being run right. SpaceX is doing a better job keeping itself running.
Right. So Tesla's not a great company, neither is SpaceX for that matter. So all the savings of the environment that his electric vehicles are doing have gone up in smoke, literally, with SpaceX. So you see what I'm saying?
Have you heard of all the reports of all the car crashes with Tesla or the things just not working?
Yeah,
right?
Tesla is a terrible brand.
And the Cybertruck looks ugly as fuck, and it probably is
Well, I don't think their vehicles look all that great either. I mean, people have compared my Prius to a Tesla, and I'm like, nothing could be further from the truth. Like, mine is sleeker. It's definitely sleeker, and it's not
cheaper.
Nearly as boxy. Like Tesla cars, if you've seen them in person, there's only a couple of models that look great. I mean, all the rest of the models, most of the models of Teslas look like fucking box cars. I'm like, why are people buying these things? They're not sleek. They're not, performing like great. Like they get like 200 miles to a quote tank of electricity. I mean, there's a lot going on with Tesla that's not great, and I don't. You know what? I don't blame them 100%. I don't blame Elon 100% because you know what? It takes years, decades to perfect making a car, engineering a car. Does he have a good head start? Yes. I mean, when Japan started, way back whenever they started, I mean, it took decades for them to become the leader of cars,
Okay, here's something I'm gonna make a proposal to Skodoma for. How about how there was the atheist challenge years back that the atheist community was doing to challenge Christians to like live a life in the day of their shoes. I think it was technically a week, but or a month, depending on how long you want to go.
Uh-huh.
But I think you need to do that by just weaning yourself off of whatever
Fox
news
News
cycle you currently listen to.
Daily Wire, Fox News. See, I've been saying that for both sides, Eric. I like people that listen to CNN and MSNBC.
Maybe step out of your church too, because I don't know what church you go to, but they're probably. I mean, they're probably of the same kind of opinion you are. That's probably why you go.
I think, look, I do agree with you, Eric. People have to get out of their comfort zones. And I've gotten out of my comfort zone
You
several
want to
times.
understand trans issues? Go out and do some journalistic legwork.
Yeah.
Maybe you'd actually learn something.
Well, or either just search for the information online on unbiased sources, not Fox News or CNN or OAN or.
But I'm also of the opinion that he's fake and he's incapable of doing this. And every time he says he wants to understand, he doesn't actually mean it. So this is your chance to put your money where your mouth is.
That's making a hell of an assumption, Eric. Like from what I know of Scotoma.
Well, I'm here and tell him, prove me wrong.
Well, the burden isn't on me. Why is the burden on me, Eric? Like I'm just a host. You know what I'm saying?
I'm asking you.
You're asking Scotoma that?
Yeah.
Well, I mean that's up to him. I mean he can or he can't. If he can't, then I mean what are you gonna do? Spank him?
Quit
Eric?
talking shit and start.
Start learning. Well, yeah. Look, what is the predominant thing that has made this country quote unquote great, Eric? It's freedom of speech, right? So, I mean, if someone is stuck in their ways, I mean, there's no, you can talk about it, and maybe one day that person will see the point. You see, maybe they won't, but that doesn't mean that we have to like not get along and not, agree to disagree on most things and still be on good terms. You know what I'm saying, Eric? Like, I just, you can't, you can, there's an old saying, Eric, you can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. You see what I'm saying?
Or so, in this case.
Right. So I'm not saying that Scotoma is entirely wrong on everything he says. He's made some very valid points here. We agree on the government for the most part. What's up, Breakman? Hang on just for a second.
All right.
Can you stick around for just a couple after the show break? We want to talk about maybe coming up with a couple of new segments or whatever, after the show. But all I'm saying, Eric, is
or the very least idea of cycling segments out every so many months.
Yeah, well, we'll discuss it later, dude. I don't want to bore everybody with these details. We got a show to do, dude. All right, let's do that. Let's start this show. Let's get the news, because we got lots of news, and I want to end things as quickly as possible so we can go over a couple of things. Like burping and interrupting. No, I'm just kidding. All right, you guys ready to go? Break, you ready to go?
I didn't even, well, no, I did have soda today, but that was hours ago.
Hey, Freak 5, welcome. I'm sorry I didn't even see you hop in there, but welcome to the show. All right, Break, you ready? Yes, no, maybe so. Did we lose Break? No, Break's still there. Break, are you there? Oi.
Eric lost is him already.
Well, he's there, but
don't tell me my burp did it.
No, no. I mean, I can see him trying to talk, but there we go. Now I hear him. It took Harmy to slap his mic in again.
For him, he needed rescuing. He was in trouble.
He was in trouble. All right, Break.
Does he have a break signal or something?
Hey, Break, you ready to go?
Yeah, sure.
All right, Eric, you ready to go?
Yeah.
All right, let's try to do headlines for the news because we got tons of news and I want to get through a lot of shit. If we can get this done in an hour and a half, that would be great.
Greg's most of your announcements, so it should be okay.
Yeah, we should be fine. All right, let's go. Here we go. And welcome, everybody, to RPGrinders episode 769 of RPGrinders. I'm your host, Frank. He said 69. I'm your host, Frank Branch, alongside my trusty cohorts, Eric the Great, Breakman the Bold. Gentlemen, how are you?
69.
Eric, how are you doing, man?
Great. At least I would be if they actually shipped my game out on time. But
With,
I know I ordered it like 2 days ago, but like I don't think any of the Best Buy copies have shipped yet because they haven't got them.
of what?
Because Square fucked up again because Dragon Quest Monsters is out.
Oh, and you still don't have it. God damn it, that sucks,
Yeah,
man.
I didn't even get a shipping confirmation.
Yeah, that sucks,
I
dude.
mean, it's fine because I'm not playing it right now, anyways. And even if it were here right now, I'd be playing something else.
So
I'm
what are
gonna
you
be playing
bitching
it
about?
later.
What are you bitching? No, I'm just kidding.
I'm bitching that anybody else who wants it can't probably because I asked on Twitter and I haven't gotten any responses, but I'm guessing the case is similar.
Break, man. What is wrong with you, dude? It can be really hard.
I don't think
Well,
we have enough time for that.
you got to
Yeah.
take turns, dude. Take turns. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's kind of killing the point.
Oh, dear Lord. Yeah. All right. So you're having a competition, I see. Breakman with it.
Some people don't like 69s though because they could get smothered otherwise.
Smothered. It depends on who's on bottom, Eric.
It's a competition.
Yeah, who can make the other person, come first or whatever. I don't know. Or who can do it better? Who can make who scream or moan?
I'm
or...
done. You're out. You lose.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I mean the guy.
won.
Most
You're a
like
loser. Oh,
Breakman,
you know-
95% of the time the guy loses that battle, dude. I'm telling you.
It'd be interesting to see like an animated hentai like episode of whatever like be scientifically accurate where the person comes once and that's it.
I just saw an article. Not
Because
a,
all of these hentais like you always see these guys just being able to go more than one round.
Well, yeah, I mean, I could when I was younger. When I was
yeah,
in my 20s, like, I would have done it.
more than once. Yeah, when you're younger, you can definitely go more than once. But
But like,
it-
when we're old like this, like, we go for a long time now.
yeah, exactly. It's not the ocean of the you know what I'm saying. It's not
I
the
don't think
Now it's like once, but it's after a long time.
Yeah.
So it's,
yeah.
Except when I was younger, whenever I got done, beating the meat, like that was pretty much it too.
It's
So-
funny, like how we used to make fun
So
of God.
I'm saying like if people were able to do it more than once when they're younger, I think it depends on the person, man. And it seems like
It
that
does
number's
depend on
actually pretty
the
small.
it does
Yeah,
depend on the
everybody's
person. Yes,
Mm.
and it also depends on how young you are too, Eric. That's the whole thing. I mean,
like, not all women have multiple orgasms. and
But it's
stuff.
almost like a false advertisement then, because like
you
you're saying that a large number of young people can do this.
you,
when
you
in
haven't
reality
talked to
it's
the
actually a
women in
small
my
number.
life, break man.
I was gonna say, but then we have some women that can like get off just by like going to the gym and shit, and they exercise hard enough, and then you got someone.
And I know it's supposed to be porn.
They
so
could
the
use, like,
fantasy-
12
so the
vibrations
fantasy
or
is I can keep going.
Yeah. No, I hear you, break man. Like Bernie is like an orgasm machine, dude. Like you could look at her a certain way and she could like literally. I mean, I mean this in sincerity.
You
Like
fuel and chat for later jokes on the OnlyFans show. Just saying.
I know.
Give them
Just
a-
get
give them
ready
a
for it. I know Freak Five is listening intently for his next OnlyFans joke, but no, seriously.
What we should do is we should get Freak Five a Christmas present. That Christmas present is that Bernie's OnlyFans becomes real.
No, let's not. Let's
Here's
not
an
do that.
invite. You're welcome to come. All right.
You're welcome to come.
It's real, but it's actually but then we find out it's actually a joke.
Oh,
Yes.
if I
Break,
made
man.
that double entendre. Dang.
Definitely a double entendre, man. That's funny as fuck. All right, let's get to the news so we can get it done and over with. Did I already do the news? But I don't think I did. Here we go.
RPG News.
All right, Eric, you are up.
RPG news from RPG site. We've got some delays from level 5. I say delays. Some of them were definitely delayed. The other ones, I don't even think had solid release dates. So can you even call it a delay? More like level 5's projection was delayed.
I don't know. Like, Can you consider Duke Nukem Forever delayed, even though like they never announced the date for it? Really, they just kept like saying, "No, it'll be out, it'll be out, it'll be out." Like we still consider that game delayed, right?
Right.
Yeah,
So
they kind of just sold an unfinished product. That's what.
Yeah. So if they didn't announce a date, doesn't mean that it wasn't,
Freak Pipe
Anyways,
says Bernie Sanders deepfakes.
Okay, so Fantasy Life I is coming out in summer 2024, and only for the Nintendo Switch for now. But knowing them, they'll probably port it to other places. Megaton Musashi is coming out next year, so that's definitely coming out. But it's coming out. Oh wait, no, that's also, that's April 25th. But like the other one doesn't have a solid date yet. It's just sometime in the summer. But this one's got a hard date.
He said hard.
Inazuma 11 Victory Road is also coming out in 2024, but no hard date, not even a season. So it's just whenever they can get it out, I guess. And let's see, Deco Police is being delayed to also. It says post 2024 on their thing, which means that it can either come out after 2024 or sometime after the beginning of the year. So I'm leaning more towards 2025 actually. And Professor Layton is also a 2025 title.
So we're going to hear about this next October when we get the delay notice.
Yeah, why do we even care about 2025 dates? I never understood this. Like, it's the same thing with movies, right? Marvel has its slate of movies, and they're like, coming in October of 2025, Avengers. I'm like, why the fuck do I even care right now? You know, it's like just leave me alone with that shit. Just, give me about a 2-month run up.
And focus on that. Why don't you fix your problems you're having right now?
Yeah, exactly. Just you got problems now. Don't worry about what's going on in 2025. It's the same thing with
the production issues that Mappa's having is the reason why Attack on Titans last season took so long to completely finish. And it's also the reason why second season of Jujutsu Kaisen is still in launch limbo, and it's just limping along.
You know what, Eric? If you see, I'm gonna say this.
At least Zombie 100 Bucket List of the Dead had numerous other issues like programming conflicts that delayed its releases for most of the time. But like Mappa doesn't have excuses. It's just being terribly mismanaged over there.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Eric. If you come across a story where they're talking about more than a year or a year out, I don't even want to. Let's not even do it because it's like it's non-existent.
But some of the listeners might want to know. So
yeah, but Eric, like
it's something that you can mention every once in a while. But like with Marvel and Disney, for instance, it's like here's our plans. Like every month we got we're updating our plans again.
Yeah, it's like
care what's coming in 2026.
I totally agree with you, Break Man. It's like who gives a shit? Just give me the upcoming, even up to a year. I can handle that. Like if you got 2 or 3 movies coming out this year, awesome. Let me get hyped for those ones. Starting with the first one, right? I mean, I don't want to hear about what's going on.
Time to start talking about 2024 releases.
It's like
December.
It's like talking about next gen consoles right now. We're not going to see the next gen console for what? At least 2-3 years from now. So who? I mean, why would we even think about that? Like now,
I only mentioned the 2025 stuff because. We're talking about level 5 anyway, so it doesn't matter.
No, I know, I understand.
We're talking about you. We're criticizing the
right.
development.
I'm
Frank on a rant here. Leave us alone.
I know.
Damn it.
I know. You're right, Break. No, I know.
My microphone.
Eric, no, honestly, it's not you, dude. It's just I'm just saying, dude. If let's say it's a announcement about a game that's coming in 2025, I don't want to fucking hear it. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm sure nobody else really feels like hearing it either. I mean, if it comes closer to the time and we hear an update on something, like it's coming sooner, oh, great. Or it's being delayed because of a certain thing, like they need more time to polish the game, that's interesting. But an announcement about a game that's supposedly coming out in over a year, no, fuck that, man. It just.
Also, since we're on the subject of level 5, during the level 5 vision, which I didn't actually watch because their own recording of the stream was borked.
Oh.
And so I'm probably going to have to watch a secondhand video somewhere.
Yeah.
But apparently they announced a successor to Yokai Watch, but they also announced a couple Yokai Watch games, so nice to see if they haven't completely given up on that franchise. So maybe Yokai Watch 4 getting localized isn't a pipe dream as much people think. It has been canceled at this point. There's still a chance for it to return.
Maybe they should give level 5 Dragon Quest again. That would be something interesting. I would like to see a level 5 Dragon Quest game. That would be really nice. Get back to its roots of when it was super good. All right. Are we done with that, Eric? Break. Next story.
Coming to us live from RPG site. Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis launches for PC on December 7th. There you go.
All right. You did it quicker than I could even pull up the whatever you call it. All right, let's go to the next article.
Here's a good idea to let level 5 make remakes of Dragon Quest 8 and 9.
Ooh.
Oh, yes. How about
they can
that?
Start out by doing that, because
Yeah.
I think Square's own internal teams are busy making the other.
I totally agree with that, Eric. That would,
I'm still waiting for my Final Fantasy VI remake.
I want a Final Fantasy VI remake as well. 4, 5, and 6 would be great, please. Thank you.
Well, they gave 4 like a 3D treatment, but 5 and 6 have just been completely neglected by now.
I know, and 6 is one of the greatest games of all time, man. It's so fucking good. So good.
I want Square to remaster the DS remakes of 4 through 6.
Yeah. Or can we just get
and just give us a remaster of 7 because for the 3DS because that was fine enough as is. It just needs to be on another platform because the 3DS is basically dead now.
Can we get a 3D version of 6? Like a la what they did with how great they remade Final Fantasy VII. Let's get that treatment for 6, and I'll even take 3 games too.
Dragon Quest 6 isn't as good as a game.
Not 6. No, not Dragon Quest. Final Fantasy. Did I say Dragon Quest? I meant Final Fantasy.
I was talking about Dragon Quest.
So sorry.
You're still on that.
Yeah, no. Give me Final Fantasy 6 with the Final Fantasy 7 remake treatment, and I'll take 3 games on that too. And here's my money. You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't you lay out money for that, Break?
I don't know if 6 would work as a completely 3-part.
It would work as a 2-parter.
Because the world of balance and the world of ruin are like 2 different things. And the world of ruin is so ridiculously short, and most of it's optional. So Part 2, having a more expanded storyline for that segment would make more sense.
I think a 2-parter would be fine. But here, let's go on to the next story. This comes to us from RPGsite.net. Legend of Legacy HD Remastered launches March 22nd, 2024. That's the story. All right, Eric, next story, please.
Dragon's Dogma 2 has a release date. And that is March 22nd.
Okay. See, that's close enough, Eric. You see how that's kind of close and the hype's there. I played Dragon's Dogma 1, and that game's good. It's pretty fucking good. I mean, and now it's super cheap. You can get it for like $5-7.
Like the only way to get that kind of performance is to get the PC version.
Yeah. What you bought Dragon's Dogma like me last Black Friday break?
Yep. Yeah.
I played a little bit of it. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't beat it obviously, but it's really good. It's a good fucking game. But damn,
I know. I want to get into it. I got several games I bought last Black Friday. I cannot. Get
I was gonna tell you guys about Black Friday this year. It sucked. There really wasn't anything great this year.
I don't know what Dragon's Dogma even plays like. I've heard people say it's a Monster Hunter clone, but with fantasy elements
No, it's
thrown
not.
in.
Absolutely not.
I would say the
But-
only big deals were consoles this year.
But
Yeah.
based on screenshots for Dragon's Dogma 2, it looks like it's got like some Shadow of the Colossus like set pieces going on.
I'm
So
okay with that.
What exactly kind of game is the first?
The first game,
then, in
the first
comparison?
game is like an action RPG, Eric, but it's not quite Dark Souls hard, but it is. The level of difficulty is pretty hard on it. So
Because like I know the thing about the pod system, where the pod system's kind of like summoning an NPC, like that will help you during a fight.
yeah, it's been a while since I played it, Eric, but it's good. It's a good game. It's a good game. All right.
Like I got the Steam version, but I haven't gotten around to playing it.
Let's see. Who did the Dragon's Dogma story? All right, Breakman, you're up.
Coming to us live from Gamatsu, Cupid Parasite, Sweet and Spicy Darling, coming west 2024. Apparently this was released in Japan yesterday. Idea Factory International will release Otomi visual novel Cupid Parasite, Sweet and Spicy Darling. So
It's what's known as a fan disc, which basically is like based on fan, like, I guess wanting to satisfy fans. So this is fan service in the most literal sense, where they make a sequel, like storilines for each of the different routes of the original game, where you get to see how those two character pairings or each of the pairings is faring after their ending. And then they usually throw in like an original story at the end at some point.
Well, that's kind of interesting. I like that. What I don't like is the fact that my browser's fucking up and I can't load the next article. So that's why I am delaying. And that's why you guys are hearing me pace myself when I talk to you. Because, waiting and stuff.
And this is an otome, so that means you're playing as a girl and you get to hook up with one of several hot guys.
There you go. You guys are going to have to pick up the rest of the stories.
So there's there's Wang in this game.
There's Wang.
Well, it depends on the
Wang.
subject matter of otomes, but most otomes don't actually go that far.
There's Wang. There's Wang in this game. That's where your mind went, Break. So what you're saying? There's Wang in this game, right, Eric? That's what you're saying.
The only otome that I've played that would actually go that far was that it was implied that these two characters fucked in, and considering that like the whole game it's Nor 9, but like it's the only pairing that has that implication out of all the other pairings.
All right. Well, like I said, you guys are gonna have to pick up the rest of the stories because
There's not enough sex in these sex games.
I agree. But we will be talking
There
about
are
some.
otome hentai games though,
Yeah.
but I haven't played any of those.
We are gonna be talking about a new.
Because none of them are good. I've yet to play any game like that.
I heard one that's really good, but like I have to I can't remember the name of it, but I'll look it up and then tell you later.
Yeah.
All right.
Because visual novels can play on a potato console, so you could probably play one on your laptop.
Well, I wasn't really considering visual novels. I was talking more like the
The more interactive stuff.
yeah, like the shooters and the puzzle games and stuff. Like they like on the Switch. There's like a bunch of those block puzzle games. Like
What
Yeah, those are all trash.
what
Yeah,
what
exactly.
Break is
Little-
really saying is that he's a cochino. That's what he's saying. So I just want to make that very, very clear. All right, Break, can you do the next story? Because my fucking
your
browser's all.
computer took a shit and
Yeah.
left us to do the work. Got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Come to us live from Gamatsu. Morbid, the Lords of Ire, adds PS5, Xbox Series, and Switch versions. PC demo launches December 5th.
All right.
There is a game called Dragon Fantasy.
Yeah, there is. There is. I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody's
It's actually pretty fun,
guessing
too.
fantasy.
But I like Break's idea of a game called Final Warrior Dragon Fantasy Quest. That sounds really, really good. All right, Eric, next story, please.
Let's see. Morbid, the Lord.
No. Next.
Cookie Cutter.
This
Okay.
is true.
We got a game called Cookie Cutter, and it's a extremely gory, cartoony looking Metroidvania, and it launches December 14th for PS5, Xbox Series, and PC.
Huh.
The idea is
Alright.
you're playing as an android woman who is looking for her lover, who is also her creator. I don't know how you should feel about that, but you know.
I feel icky and violated.
Yeah, it's like, you know what they're insinuating, like an incestual type thing, like, ooh, where's my daddy, you know, type
I know.
thing. You know?
I made my daughter sex slave.
Yeah,
Oh,
It's more like
dude, very
no,
Trump.
it's more like the dude made a girlfriend, but like he probably didn't intend for that to happen, and it just did.
yeah, exactly.
They just fell in love, right? He didn't
Yeah.
program it at all. Uh-huh.
I
Yeah,
mean, maybe it is that because this game is all kinds of crazy. So you know, whatever.
I wish I could have seen it, but my fucking browser's all damn fucked up. Okay.
Anyways, I did request a review code, and I'm going to get some at some point.
Nice.
Techno.
So I'll be able to tell you about it later, whenever it happens.
Nice. I want to know more about this game.
It looks good. I mean, the artwork is definitely funky, I will say.
Also, she fights with the chainsaw, or one of the many weapons she has.
Scotoma says, The Legend of Luigi. I like it.
I also find it hilarious that she's fighting robots, but they're bleeding anyway.
Yeah, I did see that. That's kind of cool.
I
That's
mean,
a
maybe
different...
it's like motor oil, but like it's colored red. So
That's
it's
Right.
like
blood.
photo with food coloring, or like,
Yeah.
is that what
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it looks cool. I mean, the main character's not this hot, sexy vixen type thing, too, so it's not sexualized or anything, so that's kind of cool. All right, Eric, next story, please.
Or I mean, I've seen some of the concept art where she does actually look pretty hot, but I'm guessing like, she let herself go or something to be able to fight the way she does.
I guess. Or either she bulked up and, you know.
Yeah,
Whatever.
it's just a result of her being made for combat,
Right.
reformatted for combat.
Right. All right, Eric, next, please.
Fantasy action RPG Arisen Force, sorry, Vonimir. I don't know how to pronounce things. They completely made up a word, so forgive me for not knowing how to pronounce it right.
Yeah, maybe you
announced
need
for
to...
PS5.
Hey, Eric, maybe you need to ask a break for a pronunciation.
Getting tips from him. That would be an ultimate humiliation.
We're laughing at you. I mean, with you, Breakman.
But anyways, PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. So basically everything except mobile.
All right.
But developer Yoyan
Breakman.
announced it. So quarter 4 of 2024. So that's next fall. Kickstarter campaign is seeking approximately $15,000 in funding is also live. So it's a Kickstarter game. And they probably met their goal somehow. I just know it.
Yeah.
You know, these tend to get funded.
Yeah.
And it's got some Octopath Traveler looking vibes. It's not using that engine, but they've definitely replicated the style pretty well.
All right. Anything else, Eric?
Nope.
I break. Next story, please.
Wait, are we the Yuna story?
Beyond Good and Evil.
Yeah. Oh shit, I got the wrong one. Loaded. Okay, hold on. Coming to us live from Yomatsu. Beyond Good and Evil 20th Anniversary Edition announced on accident. It leaked, and then they're kind of forced to say, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
This is a fantastic game.
It's
You know what's funny? That like I think it was a parody PC Gamer tweet posted out. It says Ubisoft announced Beyond Good and Evil 20th Anniversary Edition and then quietly canceled it after they realized it was not that sort of thing. That's what that fake headline said.
Breakman,
I
talk
thought that
about
was hilarious.
Breakman, talk about
'Cause it was
backlog. Oh, go ahead,
Making
Eric.
fun of the fact that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is not out yet.
What were we saying, Frank?
Breakman, what I was trying to say is, you talk about backlog. I bought Beyond Good and Evil like when it was on sale physically a long ass time ago for the 360, I believe.
Yeah.
And ask me if I ever played that fucking game. It's one of the
I
few
don't
games.
think
Like
I don't-
Beyond Good and Evil, Frank.
I know.
That
I know.
game came out on disc on the 360. I think it was digital only.
Yeah, yeah. No, I had a disc somewhere. Was it PS2, Eric? Could have been PS2
No, that's not the HD version.
or PS3 maybe.
I don't even think. No, I don't think the game did come out on the PS2 and the GameCube and the Xbox, but
It was the GameCube. It was the GameCube.
that's not the HD version.
No, I didn't say it was the HD version. I just said talk about a backlog. I have that game. I had that game, and I never even played it once. And that's very rare for me to buy a game and not at least play it once. You know what I mean? Very rare. But I only have a few games like that, and that's one of them. And it's one that I regret. Is it really good? Break?
It's like Zelda, kind of, in a futuristic setting, whereas you play like an investigative reporter. And it's a lot of fun, and it's got something in it that I wish more games would copy. In fact, I wish any game would copy, because none I've seen have done it. Instead of like a laid out keyboard where you select the letters that you want, it had this like kind of I don't know how cylindrical way of typing stuff out, and it works so well.
Also, the only way to earn money in the game is to take photos and then sell them.
I've got a free for all topic along those lines, Breakman, that we could talk about maybe this month, is like features that we've seen in games that we haven't seen in any other game.
No, I thought you were gonna go for games of shame. I'm like, I've got a catalog.
No, not games of shame. No. The opposite. Games that did something that nobody else like really does. Like that's also a great example of
this
a feature.
game has a really fun but addictive mini game called Yo Pearl, where you get to hear Jamaican music and you move around, I think, a boat and go through an obstacle course, essentially.
Yeah,
I don't remember that. I can't remember that at all. I just remember going through the different dungeons and just like sneaking around, and it was just an interesting story.
An interesting story that ends on a weird note, and we never got the sequel. And probably never will happen, and it's not going to end up being like the one sequel we need. Because they turned it into this weird thing that...
I mean, people keep saying it's like ended on a cliffhanger. Not really, because they finished the story of the game. It was just that something happened on a character in it. Like
it was like a stinger for a sequel, and then
exactly.
But I thought
a sequel that didn't happen, and by the time we get an announcement of a sequel, it takes years later, and we're still close to that. And
I thought
what did it show us was far removed from what we anticipated.
Right.
I thought we were getting a sequel to Beyond Good and Evil. Wasn't that a big?
It's probably canceled indefinitely, and by the time anything resembling Beyond Good and Evil 2 comes out, it'll be so far removed from what it was now.
So you're saying it's the new
that
Duke
it's not even
Nukem?
going to be the same game anymore.
If you want to see with that game, buy the fuck out of this one.
Yeah. Buy the.
They actually threatened to do that, and that was gross. They shouldn't. They should just release it. You know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay. Next story.
I wouldn't be surprised if even what they showed us, it was quietly scrapped, and they're redoing it from the ground up again.
Oh wow. Okay, I got the next story because it finally came up. Yuna and the Haunted Hot Springs, the thrilling steamy maze Kiwami announced for PC. I don't even know what that means, but okay, sounds kind of hot.
This is a show that's based on a light novel, I think, or manga. I'm not exactly sure, but it is fan service stuff.
Okay. Well,
no, really? I'm not. Yeah. I'm shocked by that. A game called a game with the haunted hot springs and thrilling and steamy in the title is a fan service game.
I know it's shocking, isn't it? But hey, I'm down for it, man. I just wish it wasn't just for PC, but whatever. It looks good.
This game looks like a mystery dungeon game.
Yeah,
it doesn't look like I expected it to look. That's for sure.
I mean, I expected boobs. That's what I expected.
I wanted a dungeon crawler, and I got a roguelike instead.
Yeah.
I went into this dungeon crawler expecting boobs, and all I got was this.
You might get that.
All I got was this shitty T-shirt.
Hey, Break, don't you remember the game called Omega Force that never came out, and then we got the sequel that came?
Some coworkers were talking about Ouija boards.
Right, no, I don't.
Not whatever. It's a proper noun, so you gotta get this right.
Fine, you're right. I'm wrong. Is that what you want?
Raiden, fucking Dewey Den, Dying Den. Jesus, man, who cares?
Hey, I'm just trying to get grammar correct.
Yeah, he's just trying to make sure we don't get sued.
You know what, Eric?
The last thing we want is Ed Boon and WB suing us because we said Raiden instead.
You know what? Breakman has a different dialect altogether, Eric. Just chalk it up to that, okay?
Yeah,
Right?
he's from Cincinnati. It's a different. It's an alien culture.
Exactly. There you
I
go.
don't think they talk like me here either, actually. I get a lot of like, what?
All right, Freak5 says, some coworkers were talking about Ouija boards earlier this week. I told them those are just texts from ghosts. That's a good point, Freak5. And I can't disagree. All right, Eric, next story, please, and quickly.
Well, it's probably even worse in Kentucky. That's all I have to say.
I'm right on the border of Kentucky, so.
Oh, jeez. No wonder, Breakman. Okay, Eric, next story, please.
Next story is let's see. Hold on. Pennyblood, is that it?
Yes.
Okay. Pennyblood Hellhound is a roguelike that's coming out to be a companion game, much like how Eiyuden Chronicles Rising was a companion game to Eiyuden Chronicle. So this is companion to Pennyblood. And it's coming 2024 for PC. And that hopefully will tide us over till that game actually comes out.
Yeah. Looks good. I'm not a huge roguelike guy, but it looks more akin to like Hades or something like that. It looks okay. You know, so. All right, break. Last story.
Well, I didn't load it, so let me stop here while I'm hitting the button here up to load it. Coming to us live from our RPG site. Sandbox CRPG Unforetold Witchstone launches for Steam Early Access on January 25th, 2024.
Oh, there you go. Early access story. I love those too.
I just wanted to go back to the last article because like the developer for this game is apparently the same developer for Eiyuden Chronicle Rising.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of funny.
For the Hellbound game?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. There you
go. I like
go.
the name. Unforetold. That is a pretty good name.
Yeah. Yeah. Unforetold Witchstone. Yeah. All right.
It's going to release for $34.99. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So they're called Witchstones. Does that mean like money? Because like the UK has this thing called stones. That's what they use to measure like
weight.
No, not just weight. It's for money. They're like money was called stones at some point.
I thought it was pounds. I don't know. What do I know?
Yeah, until they started using pounds.
Yeah.
It's like what they used before.
I got
or
you.
It's like or it's slang for
They
pounds.
use stones as coins. You should know this.
Yeah. Shut up, Breakman. How dare you? Son of a bitch. All right,
No,
you thought I wasn't
they
paying
probably
attention.
used food and not stones. Food was probably better to barter with.
I mean, he was around. Gotta ask him. He's the expert.
How dare you? How dare you both? All right, homie discounts, Eric. What do we got?
All I want to know is I need like Frank's weed recipe because I'm sure he's got a killer weed recipe for the prehistoric eras.
Fucking exiled, you son of a bitch! I think that's the first time in Grinders history I exiled Eric before anybody else. You son of a bitch! All right, let's do it.
I can't believe I didn't get exiled. No.
Yeah, I know. And keep it up, Breakman. I was trying to be generous today, but Eric ruined it.
But the PS Plus games for December for me, but well, except for one, but which is Power Wash Simulator. Now I don't have to pay for it because it left Game Pass a while ago. So
What the fuck is Power Wash Simulator? What I think it is?
Yeah, you're power washing things.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man. What a dumb game. I was more interested in Sable than the other two. What do we get?
Sable.
Realistic simulator, or is it actually attempting to be fun? Because
your characters are designed a little cartoony, so it goes in the weird places, but it's mostly realistic.
Oh, well, not so good. That doesn't sound fun at all.
Well, I don't know. Have you heard of a power washer nozzle that has like a triple spread? I don't think that exists in real life.
That sounds like a bad tagline to a porn. Power washer, triple spread.
Pretty sure that doesn't exist. So,
I know. It doesn't.
That's where it gets from the fantasy.
Okay, so let's get to it. What are we getting in December, Eric?
But there's actually a story mode to it, and it's weird. But 2K Drive, and Sable are the other two games.
What is Sable, Eric?
It sounds like it's a game that's kind of like Journey, but you're on a hover bike instead.
Oh, I'm down.
That was that wrestler from the 90s. The
What?
female wrestler.
Oh, Sable? Ooh, I used to have an autographed Playboy photo of her, like a nude one. It was awesome. It was great. Sable. All right.
Apparently there's an original soundtrack, and then people that composed the soundtrack was called Japanese Breakfast, which is an interesting name for a composer label.
Yeah. Japanese Breakfast. That sounds good. All right, let's move on to what we've been playing here.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Inquiring minds want to know what you've been playing, Breakfield.
What? Breakfield?
Breakfield. I was going to call you Breakfield instead of Break, because I was looking at the document and it says Starfield, so I combined Starfield and Break.
Oh, okay.
So if Break plays Starfield enough, maybe he will become Breakfield.
Breakfield.
I might have to work on that then, yeah. I've only played it a little bit because I haven't had much time to play this week, and when I start to play something like that, I'm within like 30 minutes. I've just been so tired with being busy and just start dozing off and shit, and I can't get anything done.
You know, it's funny you say that, Break, because I haven't even had time to play Marvel Puzzle Quest this week.
Damn.
I know. I haven't had time to fucking play anything, and it drives me nuts. It's very, very, very seldom do I not get a chance to play a game. You know, it's like, fuck, man. I need to play a game. I really do. Maybe after this I'll play Blair Witch and finish that up and talk about it next week. All right, Eric, what have you been playing?
And also I've been playing Dungeons 4 because I love Dungeons 4 so much. Like, if you love RTSs, you gotta play the game because it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Because it's got the basically you have two maps you're playing on. You get your dungeon map where you're building your dungeon and you're building traps and stuff like that, and you got the overworld map, which is more like the old school RTS. You're gonna take your troops here to destroy this kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas in the bottom, they're coming to you, and you're going to get them like, I'm the me, little bitch. That's right. I'm gonna sacrifice you, son of a bitch. Oh, I'm so sorry. You were coming here to save the day, didn't you? Oh, so sad.
Sounds like a ton of fun. I'd like to watch people play RTSs. I just never enjoyed playing them. It's too much micromanaging to me.
Rick should probably play Call of the Lamb. He'd probably like it.
Call of the Lamb, what's that?
It's a game where you run a cult.
Oh, yeah.
But you're all animals.
Oh, that's not right. That does sound interesting.
That's on the Switch, dude.
You get up to crazy shit in that game. And there's also literal shit. So
that's like a currency in that game, I think.
Yeah, I think it's like part cult management simulator, but also part dungeon crawler.
Yeah, you would like that game, Break. I'm a big fan of eating non-traditional breakfast foods for breakfast, Freak5 says.
Also, I think Break's racist for suggesting a Japanese breakfast is fish and rice. I'm pretty sure they do not eat that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I was just going by anime. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing that much in anime. I remember seeing salad and sometimes rice.
Every anime is like it's always rice and fish. Like there's always
or if you're a schoolgirl, like at Sailor Moon, it's a piece of toast.
Yeah. Hey,
and a salad maybe.
Eric, we'll do what you've been playing, and then we're gonna go back. You sent an eroge manga bundle, so you know.
Another one from Indigala, the Ecchi Lesson bundle.
Yeah, which I already
and there's a special deal right now that's going on for the next 10 hours, and so counting down, you pay $4 or more to get this bundle.
Check this out. The names on this are fantastic. You're gonna laugh, Break. Watch.
Yes.
Special secret communication lesson.
What?
Saori Sato, or that might be the name of the artist. So it's Confinement Game Volumes 1 and 2. And here, consoling a woman in heat assigned as a gratification officer.
Did you hear that? Consoling a woman in heat. Brakeman.
And
That's
then
That's the
assigned as a
name?
gratification officer as a subtitle.
yeah.
That's the name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Here's the next one. Come Inside Disobedient JK chapters 1 through 4.
Come Inside Disobedient JK. What does JK mean, Eric?
It's a type of bratty girl.
Oh.
I don't know what JK correctly translate to in Romanji, but it basically describes like ultra bitchy girls.
Okay. And I like the
Or-
next one.
Or girls who are just generally delinquents.
Check the next one out, Brakeman. This one's funny as fuck.
Dick Ferment, Freeloading in Exchange for Sex, Volumes 1 through 4.
Dick for Rent, Brakeman.
Mansledding, yeah.
Wow.
Dick
Wow.
for Rent. I love it.
Wow. Just
The next
wow.
one's pretty good, too.
Uh,
By the way, I bought...
Exploiting-
Go ahead.
Volumes 1 through 7 of Exploited by My Slutty Students. And the next one is for virgins only, special female delivery. In parentheses, ladies specially delivered to the virgin's lair.
All right, then the final one's pretty good, too.
High school slut Rena sleeps with anyone.
Let's just get straight to the point here. Oh my! And by the way, I did purchase this already. $4 for all of that. That's pretty good. Scotoma says Diablo 4 is crazy fun. Of course it is, Scotoma. It's a Diablo game. Although I heard it's not nearly as good as Diablo 2 or 3, but you know. Freak says my coworkers are idiots who think that Gremlins is not a Christmas movie. It definitely is a Christmas movie. Jesus.
I mean, it takes place during Christmas, but like, there's no. Maybe the thing that people say something's not a Christmas movie is because it lacks Christmas spirit, so it has to be touchy feely.
No, fuck that. If it happens in Christmas, it's a fucking Christmas movie. Like Die Hard, for instance, is a Christmas
Die Hard's
movie.
a Christmas movie because he's Santa and he's coming to bring coal, and by coal I mean he's killing all the terrorists.
Yeah, exactly. He's giving everybody
or you could describe him as the Krampus that's killing everybody instead.
I guess, but it still counts. Krampus is... Dude, Breakman, did you watch Krampus yet?
No, not yet.
Ooh, you gotta watch that movie.
I
dude.
was going to
So
try and
good.
watch it earlier today, and I didn't have something to stream it on.
So
Is it on-
good.
Is it on Amazon? Because I've got that on my Xbox.
I believe it is on Amazon. I'll
Okay,
check.
let me
I'll
try and
check for
watch
you
this.
while Eric explains what he's been playing.
Okay, cool.
I've been playing pretty much just Lords of the Fallen, the 2014 version, because I kind of figured I'd play that before the new one because I want to be able to talk about both, and the new one's apparently such a massive improvement that I need to see for myself just how bad Lords of the Fallen is, and I'm playing through it and I'm not enjoying it.
Yeah.
But it's not bad, but like you can see the parts that don't work, and they don't work very. By the fact that I mean they don't work very well. There's certain areas in the game where the camera just decides it wants to be a shaky cam,
Oh, awesome.
which makes the gameplay hard because it's a Souls-like, and the controls are a bit sluggish, and the game's just overly generic, and it has that old aughts feeling of the colors just not being present. It's a very muted color game, and it just looks ugly.
Freak 5 makes a great point about Gremlins. Gizmo was a fucking present. Like, literally.
This game came out in 2014, and Dark Souls 2, by comparison, looks like a much better game.
Skotoma's going to be watching some porn later called Lady Balls.
And
No, I'm kidding.
also the art style in the game looks like it looks like they hired the artist from Warcraft, and your big meaty dude with shoulder pads for most of the armor that he's wearing, and it just looks terrible.
Okay.
But and then there's also link syncing issues, and I'm not sure if this is an Xbox problem or the fact that I bought a used game disc and may be the disc game's fault. But game crashed on me once, and there was another point where the audio just juddered, and I had to quit out of the game and reload it to get it to work right. And then there was another time where the audio just cut out completely. And apparently most of these issues were fixed, but apparently not all of them.
All right. That it, Eric?
Yeah.
All right. Like I said, I didn't play anything. I'm gonna try to play.
I'm not completely hating it. It's just like they didn't put a breast foot forward when it came to releasing that game, and they didn't really give much post-launch support to improve it, other than getting rid of the really egregious stuff.
Spaceball
and
game.
I'm only playing it on the Xbox because there was FPS boost on the game, so at least the game runs at 60 FPS now.
Yeah. I would totally love a Spaceballs game break. That would be badass. All right, let's move on to reviews here.
RPGrinders reviews.
Breakman, do you have any reviews?
Did you watch Blue Beetle?
I did.
Okay, then yeah, we can review that together.
Yes, cool. Go for it.
Oh well, I kind of gave my impressions of it last week. So what do you think?
I thought it was fantastic, Breakman. I thought it was great. I thought, look, if you're talking about, this is an origin story, right? But it was like a seamlessly integrated origin story. And what I mean by that is like the flow was there. Like a lot of origin stories, like what they do with Spider-Man every fucking so often. It's like we already know this. We just want to get into the action, right? And it's sluggish, right? This one was not sluggish. I was highly surprised by this movie. I had no expectations going in, Break. Like I read Blue Beetle a little bit. I'm vaguely familiar with the comic book and you know his place in the DC universe and all this. But I mean I was pleasantly surprised by the movie. I thought it was well paced. I thought the characters were endearing. I thought it was funny. I thought it was poignant at certain times and emotional at certain times. I thought it was fantastic.
The family connection to me is what elevated this above. Like this, that's one of the things that made Shazam so good was the family element. You know, like, and in that one, like they had to learn to love each other, and where in this one, you get they love each other from the beginning.
Even though they're a cast of misfits for the most part, like the uncle George Lopez was great in this movie. By the way,
yeah, he was fantastic in that movie. I definitely
and I'm not a huge George Lopez fan, but I did like him in this movie quite a bit.
He was very good in this movie. Yeah. My problem with the movie, and I really enjoyed it. Like you said, it flows really well, and I really like the kid who plays Jaime. I can't pronounce his name, so I won't butcher it. But he's like, if you watch the Karate Kid TV show, like he is fucking amazing.
He's great in this movie. Yeah.
Like really I meant like he can act and then do like martial arts at the same time while he's doing it. Like he's a good actor. But what I didn't like about this movie was kind of the third act of the movie, and let me explain. The whole movie had been about like his family and his love for them and him growing and you know, getting the suit and determining immediately like we're not going to kill. You know, he tells the suit we're not going to kill. Right. The third act of the movie, his family turned into a raging homicidal maniac.
Especially his grandmother.
They got an insane body count racked up. His family did at the end of the movie. Like, and he stick with not killing. His family's like, we don't care.
Well, they're not bound by the same.
Like stomp on people and
shit. They need to make Jaime like upstanding hero, so he has to be that by default, even if he's at odds with the rest of his family members.
You know why I don't
stances on killing people.
I don't have an issue with that for this reason, Break, and I'll tell you why.
But when you consider their grandma's an ex-revolutionary for Che Guevara,
I was just
I'm not surprised at all.
I was just about ready to say.
I like that twist. Like I liked her with the holding the gun and stuff like that. Like she was a good character, but I just. When they're preaching about not killing, and then all of a sudden, like killing just becomes a joke. Like they stomped on one guy, like with the giant scarab. Like, oh, that's a joke. Like you got him, like, and somebody's like fatality or something like that, something that I would scream.
Yeah, I agree, but I think
But other than that, I really loved it. But
Yeah,
just that section of the movie like just went completely off the rails for me.
I didn't have a problem just because of what Eric says. Like with the grandma, she has a backstory. They could do a whole movie on her. I'm sure of it, right? And as far as like the George Lopez character, I mean, you got to put two and two together. He didn't exactly have the greatest past, right? So there's something in his background that would make him okay with doing what he did. Now, the father seemed like an angel to me. Like there was, he just seemed like from the first 2/3 of the movie. But I mean, I always take things as a whole, Break. And if you look at things as a whole, it kind of made sense because Jaime, the main character, right, is goody two shoes, just like his dad was. So that's the legacy that's going to be, and I'm really hoping, I don't think there's going to be any Blue Beetle plans in the near future, but I'm hoping James Gunn includes the Blue Beetle in like a major, like Avenger type event, because his character's fucking badass. Even more badass than what I remember the comic to be, So,
and if he does a sequel, like, he could just do a sequel that's based off that, but he could do some retooling for the rest of the family, maybe.
I like that they just casually throw in a lot of his attacks and stuff, like the like his vice grip attack, where he he'll nail people to the walls and stuff like that. He just naturally started using it. It was kind of.
I thought it was unique. I don't know about you, Breakman, but I thought it was a unique.
I thought like I said, this was way better than the last batch of DC movies that we've seen, like The Flash and Black Adam. Like this was just far and above.
I liked The Flash. Okay, I didn't think it was special. I thought the comic, or not the comic, but the animated movie was way better.
Oh, that was the animated movie to me is like a 9.5, 10.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree. I've ever seen.
It's great.
But the movie, like the Flash movie, to me really fell apart at the end, and like they wasted Michael Keaton.
I agree. I thought he was.
And that girl who played Supergirl, they wasted her too.
Oh, she was good. She could have been really good. I agree. I totally agree.
And to top that off, the special effects, I know they were trying to be like stylized. They look shitty.
They did. I agree. But anyways, what are you getting Blue Beetle, Break?
I don't know. I want to think about what you've said about it before I give it a rating. Because
you want me to give my rating first?
Maybe a little bit of, because I'm trying to think if his sister killed anybody or not.
I don't think she did. The sister didn't kill anybody. I don't think she did.
Did the mother kill anybody?
The mother did not. So it was only the grandmother and the George Lopez character. I can't remember what they called him. Yeah, it was just those two. I mean, the grandma I give a pass.
Until you know him, you gotta call him Cesar.
What's that?
You gotta call him by his name, Cesar, until you know him.
Cesar. Yeah, that's right.
And then you can call him. What was that name you went by?
What the fuck was his name? But they did make a big deal of that, and I thought that was pretty funny too.
I love the Batman's the fastest.
Yeah, it was just a casual yeah, he's like a conspiracy theorist, right? Yeah. And so good. I'm giving it an 8.5 out of 10. Breakman. I thought it was on the verge of being great, like really great, right? Instead of being really, really good, it was on the cusp of being a little more, maybe a little more inclusion of other DC characters, like maybe a cameo or two, and I think that would have put that movie just off the chain. I thought they did something completely different than any other DC movie I've ever seen, and I don't know. To me, it was good. I hope they continue using that actor specifically for Blue Beetle and the character Blue Beetle. So for me, it's an 8.5 movie. I don't know. What do you think, Break?
To me, I was thinking 7.5 and 8 around that.
Yeah. I mean, we're not too far off, man. I
really enjoyed it, but just like I said, like that there was a tonal shift for me. And
yeah,
when he's like stomping on people and they're like cheering for him, like, come on, man, like that's not. Like I get you guys are grieving right now, but that kind of doesn't seem like. That seems a little too dark.
It's the angry phase of the grieving process.
I guess. super angry.
Exactly. All right, anything else, Break, that you got?
They're all corporate shitheads. But,
Yeah.
What else did I watch? Yeah, I watched some other things, but I don't have to review them right now. It's fine. And save them later. We got other reviews.
Sorry, guys, my mic unplugged.
Mhm.
Eric, can you do yours, fairly quickly, except for Godzilla -1? I don't want any no spoilers. For
you want me to do that first?
Yeah, but no spoilers, Eric, please.
Let's see. This movie is almost the antithesis of Shin Godzilla in terms of what it's actually talking about, but it is also it's still a commentary on the Japanese government, and it's still poo-poos on it. But instead of it being about their response to the Godzilla thing, the fact is, in this story, they're useless. So the private citizens have to deal with Godzilla this time, and they make a committee to deal with him, and that's actually pretty good because it's empowering. Because it's saying, it's basically saying the Japanese government has always sucked, and it still sucks today. So this is why we're talking about it in this format, even though it's a period piece, because we Japanese have to help each other because the government's gonna do fuck all for us.
Yeah.
But
that's interesting.
But I also I also think it's an antithesis rather than a supplement to the previous film, which Hideki Anno is not a part of in this film, but they definitely took some cues from Shin Godzilla for this film.
Shin Godzilla was a great movie, Eric. It was an awesome movie.
But it's also a personal story of people being able to get over the survival's guilt and wanting to live. And it's very affirming and empowering message. Personal story, so that was pretty good too. And there's probably going to be a sequel, but it's probably not going to happen for at least a year or two.
Yeah.
In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it's already been set up to be a trilogy. So, because it's placing in the timeline is weird because it's not a remake of the original Godzilla because it's called -1, and it's also called -1 because it takes place before the year that movie took place in, because it's like 1945 or 6-ish, I think.
Wow, right after the World War II? Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the original movie takes place in 1954.
That's right.
You're saying like World War II probably woke him up then?
Maybe.
Yeah.
No. Well, in this movie, like, he was already a thing, but the bombing a Bikini Atoll where he was located probably made him turn into the gigantic mutant we know.
Yeah. All right.
Also, his radiation power is colored differently. It's back to classic blue color instead of the purple laser that they used for Shin Godzilla.
Yeah.
But I don't know if the other Godzilla movies have done this. I haven't seen enough, but does he have regenerative capabilities? Just their thing in this movie.
Yeah, I think he does in a couple of the old school movies.
But like the way they
Eric.
did it is that his heat breath apparently damages him when he does it, and he has to regenerate after he's doing it, and it takes a while for him to recover from that.
Like in the movie Godzilla vs. Kong, they just gave him a blast of radiation to fix him. But in some of the other like Godzilla stories, like there's one anime where he just actually heals.
Yeah.
Just he physically heals from damage. Like this, they couldn't like
kill him. Oh, you're
at
talking to the Netflix animes?
Yeah.
Yeah. He does regen, based on his radioactive nature. Yeah. I remember, because I watched those. Break. I thought they were pretty good and interesting.
Yeah. I think that is what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, if you're a fan of Dragon Ball, there's a Cell reference in this movie almost, in a way. Yeah, so that's something to look out for. Like, because like the stinger at the end of the movie, like, is kind of a nod to that. It feels like.
Okay, so what are you giving Godzilla -1, Eric?
Giving it a 10 out of 10.
Oof, a 10 out of 10. A lot of kaiju action in this one,
No.
Eric? No.
There's absolutely no kaiju shit going on. It is just Godzilla versus man.
Oh, okay. No kaiju action. So that probably would give
Although a sequel might actually explore that.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Because I could see, like, an event where Godzilla is coming to
Breakman.
to stop another monster.
True. That's true.
I know. The Bikini
Are you laughing
Islands.
because I said Bikini Islands? I'm sorry, people. That's a fact. It's a part of history. Like, that was where atomic bombing were tested. Islands called the Bikini Islands.
Yeah, I know.
No, Bikini Atoll.
That's fact. It's not
I know.
me being silly.
It's still funny,
Sorry,
though.
Frank.
It's still funny.
I'm sorry because I said Bikini Frank.
Not Bikini Islands, but Bikini Atoll. Which
I'm
is
such a
another
child,
island,
Breakman.
so I guess you're right.
Sorry.
I mean, both Breakman. I think with a lot of times we have the same mentality. We're still kids, you know. Just Beavis and
It's like, I
Butthead.
just learned this in history class or something. You know, like suddenly
Bikini.
talk about something stupid like bikini.
Like somebody says boob, and I'm like giddy, you know. All right, Eric. Let's continue. We gotta hurry, dude.
Also, at what point did Godzilla become Godzilla in the Japanese nomenclature? Because the original release of the film was called Gojira.
Gojira.
Japanese.
Yeah. Gojira. Yeah.
And that's apparently how they pronounced it back then over
Yeah.
there.
It's
But
Gojira.
now they're clearly saying Godzilla.
Really?
I think that changed about when the American Godzilla movie released.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so.
And then they had Godzilla 2000 was released. I think that's when they first called him Godzilla.
And that god awful Matthew Broderick Godzilla movie where they changed Godzilla's look that looked like a fucking
did they
lizard.
change it because it was easier for people to identify because it was a word that could be used in both languages?
I would say it's probably the same reason that Konami changed Dracula to Castlevania, because it's a more recognizable worldwide name.
Mm-hmm.
Godzilla is more familiar to the world than Gojira.
Gojira should have been used, man. I mean, Gojira.
They made a great joke about that in that Matthew Broderick movie. See, that as bad as the movie was, they did have some funny, like, stupid 90s type jokes and humor.
I think that movie would have been fine if they didn't change the look of Godzilla, man. If they kept...
Godzilla's become from a Japanese word that directly translates to big lizard or god lizard.
Mm-hmm.
Thundering lizard.
Now it's more of a portmanteau of two loan words from another language.
But I thought like this is not to be stereotypical, but Gojira, they can't, like, Japanese people can't really pronounce L's all that well, right? So why are they now all of a sudden able to pronounce it Godzilla? You know, that's kind of a weird.
Eric, tell him he's racist. Like, you got me. It's his turn now.
I qualified what I said, Eric. How dare you? I qualified what I said. How dare you, Breakman? Don't.
What did I say about loan words?
I'm just saying, like to me, it just like L's in Japanese don't really exist. It's like the W in Spanish. It just doesn't exist. You know, it's like there's no W's. I don't know. It's just weird. It's a weird, like, quirk, I guess. All right, so let's
like this sort of like the French and how they'll end words in I think it's S, but they don't pronounce the S.
Yeah, Les Miserables.
I can't remember. God damn, it's been so long.
Les Miserables, shit like that. Like, yeah,
it is that.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, Eric, continue on, dude. We gotta pick up the pace here.
All right. The next movie. Do you want me to cover the Marvels or Loki season 2 first?
Marvels first, man. Just as quick as you
the Marvels was pretty fun, and it's one of the better Phase 5 Marvel films. In fact, it's probably the best.
It's a low bar, man. It's a low bar.
Yeah. Like Thor and Guardians of the Galaxy 3 Volume 3 are probably the only ones I'd mention that were high on that list.
Yeah.
The only real problem with it is a problem that happens in almost every Marvel movie, and almost to the point where I think like I don't think Feige is the problem with the MCU. I think Disney is the problem with the MCU, and Feige doesn't feel like he has the courage to just go against the corporate grain and just make the kind of movies he wants, because like I feel like his creativity, the creativity of the rest of the studio, is curtailed by this.
I would agree with you, Eric, 100%.
And that has more to do with Bob Iger than Disney itself. Bob Iger's a total moron, and he blamed its failure on stupid things that have nothing to do with the movie, like the fact that people are burned out on superhero films in general and just don't want to go to the theaters to see the movie, and just don't want to go to the theaters in general because theaters were kind of played out at this point. And COVID only intensified that.
Well, just look at Blue Beetle, for instance. It's been the #1 movie on Max. It's been the #1 thing on Max since its release, but it was a flop in the movie theaters.
It wasn't
like you said, people are burned out with superhero movies for the most part. Like, after big flops like Black Adam and the Eternal, stuff like that, people are they're weary of going to spend money on a superhero movie.
Or just going to the theaters in general.
I don't think it's the superhero thing so much as it's the theater and pricing thing.
Yeah.
Because if you gave people a choice of, spending $40, $50 for a couple to go to the theater, and you release it the same day on, like, let's say Peacock or something of that nature, chances are they're going to choose staying home, saving money, enjoying your own food.
I'm actually surprised.
Well, but if you go to the movie theater, then you don't have to listen to her. She can't have the excuse you have to pause it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Still have to listen to her.
Well,
I mean, surprised that for the showing of Godzilla -1, I went to about half the chairs are filled up on the one side.
Yeah. Well,
so there's a good number of people that came in.
Okay, Eric. So, what are you giving the Marvels, or do you have more to talk about?
I also wanted to say the villain was weak. That was what I was trying to get to.
Oh,
and
the
I went on a tangent.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give the Marvels 7.5.
All right, that's fair.
And Loki season 2, fantastic. I don't know what you're talking about, all your complaints. I think that's a really weird thing to complain about, Breakman. But the Victor's speech, like, quirk.
Yeah, I disagreed with that too, but whatever. I mean, everybody has their own opinion, Eric. What?
And the Sylvie and Loki things, like, they're at each other's throats because they're Lokis. That's why they're at each other's throats.
Yeah, but they spent all of season 1 like they were gonna be a thing, Eric, and it was jarring in season 2. I did agree with Breakman on that, but I also thought it was weird because
I actually saw it coming because, like, she clearly wanted to kill all these people, and he was of this differing opinion, and it just fell apart after that.
Yeah, but also, aren't they the same person just in an alternate universe? So that was kind of weird to me.
Well, they're not entirely the same person.
Well, it's an alternate version of the same person, Eric. So, I mean, in essence,
they're Lokis, but they're also not. They're also someone else. Because, like, in her circumstance, she became the god of mischief because apparently, like, she is a god among other gods in that place, and like, I guess Loki's a title.
Yeah, well, I guess, but to me, it just seemed jarring because it just seemed two versions of the same person. So you're like, if you get together with that person, you're basically fucking yourself, which I guess isn't weird because people fuck themselves all the time. So I guess you're right.
Self-love.
Go ahead. What are you getting? Giving Loki season 2, Eric?
I'm giving it 9.5 out of 10.
Okay. I think I gave it.
I think it's funny that, like, Kwan played two characters that were involved in time travel and multiverse shenanigans.
Oh, yeah.
In almost the same time frame.
I know.
It's been a year since Everything Everywhere All at Once.
And if you guys haven't seen that movie, you really should. It's a unique, great movie, and it deserved the Oscars that it got.
Also, he was apparently one of the students at the high school that those kids went to in Encino Man, because that was like the last movie he was in for a long time.
Yeah. What were you saying?
about that
Breakman?
movie forever.
And,
Wow.
and like, I think the only other thing he was in was like another Marvel production, but I think it was like for one of the Marvel TV shows. I don't
No,
know
he
which.
did other things, but just small roles.
Yeah.
Eric, what were you saying, Breakman?
I want to move. I want to I want movie franchises, more TV shows with Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston
I
together.
agree. I agree. Even if it's something different, like maybe they could do like a Sherlock Holmes series. That would be fucking fantastic.
Or like a buddy cop, like Lethal
Oh,
Weapon style.
yeah. Oh, a Lethal
I
Weapon.
do have one question though. It's like when Loki's using his full powers, he just summons the classic outfit. Is that just a proof that he's at full power or something?
Yeah,
Does he
I
have
think
to be in
that's-
it to utilize
Yeah.
all his power.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
more of Marvel just being, let's be cool. Let's do something that looks
No,
cool.
I think there was
And
significance
we'll
to
explain
it.
it off later, which is what we're doing right now.
Yeah, exactly.
It would have been cooler if you asked me for him to just completely discard his human disguise and just go full frost giant. But whatever. They kind of already did that in What If, so that's probably why they didn't do it here.
Yeah.
And plus, it would cost money, so they wouldn't.
Well,
do it.
no, I don't. I
And
didn't
not only that, he doesn't see himself as a frost giant.
see. That's the thing, and I hated that they made him half frost giant too. Man, that was. I don't know. I was a huge fan of the Thor comics, and it didn't set well with me, but that's just me being a comic book fanboy. You know, I don't know, but it was fantastic. I mean, come on. I mean, with all the other bullshit that we're getting on TV, Loki is still high class character, or whatever.
That's very true. And they've really messed with his story compared to what it is in the comics and stuff.
I know.
And
I
Loki
know.
and that.
I really wish they wouldn't have, but whatever. You know. Okay.
Well, maybe when they do the reboots of these series eventually, which they will do, probably in like 10,
I know.
15 years.
Yep. Okay. Real quickly, I got a review for a movie called Why, and I'm gonna give you it in a nutshell. It's a pretty fast-paced slasher, home invasion movie, and surprisingly good kills. I mean, a very aggressive villain. I mean, and that's pretty much all you need from a slasher, right? So it's not the greatest thing in the world. Did it break any new ground? Not really. But there was some cliche things in there, but I mean, pretty tense, and I think pretty highly of this movie. It's a Tubi movie, which I hate watching movies on Tubi because of the commercials, but when there's nothing else that you can find on any of your services, Tubi's a good alternative. And I recommend it. I give it a 7.5 out of 10. So
that reminds me, Hulu and Disney Plus are merging. So if you got a Hulu account but not a Disney Plus account, don't worry about it.
okay, well that's good because I don't have either right now. So I'll wait till they merge and think about getting a special deal. So whatever. They wanted to charge me $139 for a year for Disney Plus. So I'm like, fuck that, man. No way. And there are some things on Hulu that I want to watch, but I mean, I can't get everything. I'm not that rich, I guess. But let's move on to everybody's favorite segment.
What is it?
Stinko of the week.
All right, Breakman, what you got for us?
All right. I'm trying to be quick because we don't have a lot of time.
I
But,
know.
A couple weeks ago, or maybe even longer, I talked about the Democrats basically backdowning to the Republicans in the House and confirming the gerrymandering maps. And I said at the time, this is a stupid move. I understand they're trying to play a long game, and they're trying to. Then there were some other things they were trying to do with it, but I said at the time it was stupid and it's not going to play out the way they want. What's going to happen is the Republicans in the state house are going to use this and say this is a bipartisan support. This has bipartisan support now, and they're going to confirm it, which is what they did to the year 2030, as I said, exactly as I predicted.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So moving on, there was a video caught earlier this week, or maybe it was last week that it happened, but it was just released on TikTok, of a girl who was arguing with another girl. Apparently the one girl said something racist, and she's saying, like, say that to my face. And some other kid heard her and started running up to her screaming racist stuff, and then he knocked her out. Well, this has happened in a school. So you know what the punishment was? Obviously, for fighting, she went up to defend. She tried to defend herself. So in schools, what happens when you try to defend yourself from being attacked? You get suspended too.
Yeah, yeah.
So the victim, gets punished.
Wow.
And in this case, there was racism that happened to add on top of that this completely stupid school policy. Like, I know it was a school policy when I was a kid too. Like, we don't care who started it. Everybody's in trouble. Like, she was literally being attacked by a racist man, and she's going to be punished for that. Like, okay, whatever.
This is some really schoolyard.
Yeah.
I don't care who did it. You're both getting in trouble because you're disorderly.
Exactly. So moving on, it looked like we were finally getting some progress in Gaza. Like, there was a ceasefire, and there was some trading of hostages, and then it all fell apart, and now it's all back to shit again.
Yeah, I knew that wouldn't last.
I know, but it's just horrible to see.
You can always hope, always hope, but
Yeah. So moving on. Somebody died, and I'm not one to celebrate somebody's death, but I'm also don't believe that somebody should be lionized and treated like a hero when they were committed horrible atrocities.
Yeah.
I
know we differ on this, Breakman, but I don't care if you're responsible for what I think I know who you're talking about, Breakman.
I'll give you one word.
Some guy rhymes with Issinger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lissinger. Yeah. Let me. Okay, Breakman, you are such a nice person, and I appreciate you for your nice. I am too, Breakman. We're two men that are, I think, cut from the same cloth from every bit of information that I've gathered over the years from you, and I consider you a friend. I know we haven't met each other in real life and all this, but I know we differ on this subject. But I think it's okay to be okay and celebrate somebody that as horrible as Kissinger's death. Because anybody that provides that much misery to that many people around the world, not just here in the United States, but around the world, for several generations, I think that it's like people expressing their feelings after Hitler died, right? Like obviously there's anger and sadness, but there's also relief, and it's okay to feel like celebratory when somebody like that leaves the earth. It's these are human emotions. These things happen. Like you can't hide those feelings, right? Every person has had those people in their lives that are well known, that are absolute pieces of absolute trash, that something bad happens to them, and it's okay to feel like, you know what, for once there's fucking karma for you, like about fucking time, you know what I mean? So I know we differ on this, and that it maybe makes you a slightly better person than me, but I just think it's the human condition, Breakman, and you've learned, and I wish I had that skill of suppressing that feeling. And to me, Henry Kissinger passing away is a great thing for this earth. It's a great thing. He
was celebrated for things like uniting us with the Soviet Union and China. Well, look how well that's going right now. Like, he helped sell us out to China is what he did, honestly. Yep. Our national debt, most of it is owed to China.
Also, isn't he largely responsible for the war on drugs happening?
Yeah, he was instrumental in
not to mention the whole Weed Reefer Madness video that was published.
Oh yeah, Reefer Madness. You can thank Kissinger.
That whole thing was a way to be racist against blacks.
There was a bunch of things with Reefer Madness that was pretty aggravating to me, and now I look back on it like it in all its hilarity, But continue on, Break. Sorry, I don't mean to.
So anyway, So the celebration of somebody who did horrible things, we need to stop pretending like these people are heroes just because they were They've just because they've been in government for so long. Or
Have you
whatever.
seen
Just
how
certain government doesn't make a good person?
on that same point, real quickly, Breakman? Have you seen how mainstream media is trying to whitewash his legacy and exalt him as a fucking hero and all this shit?
I got an email about like New York Times. So
Yeah, that's
like
pretty much what I'm talking about, Frank.
Yeah.
showing a picture that was like, I guess, taken at some point in history, or maybe it was a painting of a picture. But like they're posturing him like he's like some great figure in history. Oh, he's great, but for all the wrong reasons, I guess.
All right, what else you got, Break?
And one last one goes to the 18 attorney generals across the country, and I'm surprised Ohio isn't. Maybe they might be in it. I'm not surprised Dave Gifts has done it or not. But there's a new order going out from the Biden administration as far as adopting children, basically affirming the LGBTQ kids that they still have rights if they're adopted. And the attorneys are saying, no, this is an infringement on the religious rights of the people that go to adopt kids. Like, it's their right to enforce a religion on them and force them to be straight. No, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, that's not how it works. I mean, you're it's like Lady Gaga said, born that way, right? I mean, I don't know how else to put it. Like, it's if it isn't blatantly obvious to you, if you think you can be converted, then there's a serious conversation, Scotoma says they love exalting these people like they are so great. I agree, Scotoma. The fucking mainstream media sucks. Fox, CNN, MSNBC.
I love that. And that's another thing I should add to my thing, because every time I'm like complaining about something in the message board, because I don't have Twitter to complain about anymore. Like, I'll complain about this is biased bullshit from Fox. Somebody immediately comes in, well, you should stop watching CNN. I'm like, why? I didn't say fucking CNN wasn't any good.
I know. It's like a whataboutism. You like
opinions.
Like if you say something about one politician, then somebody will say, well, what about the opposite politician in the Republican Party or Democratic Party? It's like, this is exactly what's dividing this nation, is the two-party system. It's nothing else. It's simple. It's not hard.
And with the news, yeah, you're right. And with the news, as particularly, like, I don't believe there's anything any such thing as cable news. If there's a news network on cable, it's not giving you news. It's giving you mostly opinions.
Yep, it's opinions.
You're getting some news. They scatter it in there so they can call themselves news networks, but mostly you're getting opinion shows.
Yep, it's opinion shows. I agree, 100%. Rachel
CNN,
Maddow,
MSNBC, Fox, all of them. You can't trust a goddamn one of them.
You can't trust any of them. None of them. You're right.
So it really irritates me when immediately I'll say like MSNBC, I'll say something bad about MSNBC, and somebody else saying like, "Well, go back to your Fox." Like, fuck you.
I know it's aggravating. It's
I
like
can barely trust the YouTube news networks like TYT and
you can. I mean, two things can be true at the same time, right?
Yes.
Both Fox and MSNBC and CNN and OAN and Daily Wire and all these bullshit fucking outlets all can be fucking bad, right? The same thing can be true for all of it, and that's where we are. Breakman. Right. It's the end of capitalism too.
Yeah. Look at what Fox, like, they spent 4 years ball washing Trump. MSNBC spent 8 years ball washing Obama.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing he could do wrong, even when he was killing civilians with the drone strike.
Exactly. He should be in the Hague.
Gaslighting the people of Flint.
Yeah. Or not doing anything when he had the super majority, i.e. Roe v. Wade.
Instead of doing anything of substance, his main goal was to try and get to Chicago the Olympics.
Yep.
That was his main goal. Thanks, Obama. Yeah, great.
That's his legacy.
Some of what you promised us was abortion.
And before anybody tells me that his legacy was Obamacare fucking sucks. And it wasn't even Obama who came up with it. You know who created Obamacare? It was Mitt fucking Romney. So fuck all you Democrats who are saying, exalting Obama like he was the greatest thing since sliced bread. Fuck him, and fuck Clinton, and fuck Trump, and fuck Biden, and fuck all Bush. Politicians. How about that? Okay.
Bushes.
Yeah.
I'm sick of people saying it's like this is like the Obama's still running the country. Like, no, he's not. Just the Biden's an idiot. Like,
yeah, Biden's a moron.
Like, that's not what's happening.
Right.
Obama is not in charge of our country. Sorry. I don't know what fantasy fucking world you live in.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I'm not sure how much foster kids are told about their rights, but it is illegal to make foster
Trump
children.
She just mentioned as I was going by, like, Trump. Like, he lost the election. Get the fuck over it.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't know that, Freak 5. He says it's illegal for foster kids or parents of foster kids to, like, practice or make them practice their parents' religion. That's really interesting.
That's good, because then that means it's entirely the kid's choice as to whether or not they want to pursue that.
That's a good thing.
Across the country, or is that just some states?
Which is how it should be forever in every situation.
Yeah. Children,
I'm like, I don't know about like foster care laws.
Freak 5.
Most parents
no,
should
like,
be able to do is like tell your kids about their religion.
Children don't have
Yeah,
an inherent religion, Freak 5. That's kind of weird that it's the law that you must, as a foster parent, you must facilitate the children practicing the child's religion. Children aren't born religious. They're indoctrinated into whatever religion, you choose or the parents choose. That's weird. Do they mean like regionally, like if you adopt somebody from China, you gotta, I don't know. I don't know what the Chinese religion is, but I'm gonna use this as an example. Is Buddhism, or is it like if you're from Mexico, you have to practice Catholicism? There's no.
I agree with the first part of that law. But
Yeah, the second part is weird. That's really weird. Okay.
But, all you can do as a parent at that point is like, can you take me to church? Yeah, okay, I'll do that. But I won't do anything beyond that.
Okay, I see the difference. Freak 5 says it wasn't mentioned if that changes when the child is adopted. I'm assuming it's like any other regular relationship between parent and kid. The parents really choose that. It's not the kids that choose that, right?
Okay, so here's the religion of China, and I was going to say Taoism. It's actually on the list. There are 5 religions.
Okay, I knew there was multiple.
Buddhism,
Muslim,
Islam,
yeah.
Protestantism, and Taoism.
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
Singapore is like
So Christianity is alive and well in China.
Yeah.
Okay. Like in Singapore is not China, but it's China adjacent. But the major religion there is Protestant and Catholicism.
Yeah, but there also is a good contingency of Muslims in China, and like you said, Buddhist and
Never forget
Taoist.
there are billions of Chinese people.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's the only nation that really scares me as a citizen of the United States is China, because for one, we owe China, Jesus, billions and billions and billions. I wouldn't doubt it's in the trillions of dollars. And also the fact that they're just, overwhelming with people. They literally have over 1 billion people in China. Like, it's crazy. All right. Eric, I didn't see any stinkos on yours. Can we move on?
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to happier thoughts.
Dude, what does my tattoo say?
Sweet! Sweet of the week!
All right, break.
I got one exit. What's that?
You bored it,
Excuse me.
Eric. You bored
No,
Eric.
I'm just tired.
I know. I'm just fucking with you, Eric.
Okay. George Santos finally kicked out. It took God knows why forever, and we've known the douchebag lied about everything since day one, and it's taken how many years now? Whatever. But
Wait,
he's
what
gone.
are you talking about?
George Santos.
Oh yeah. Okay. I didn't get a chance to talk about my stinko, but I'll talk about that in just a second.
Okay. Well, my other sweeto goes to, just to piss off bigots, Dylan Mulvaney is now in Forbes 30 under 30 list.
Ooh, wow. Okay.
So bigots can suck on that.
Yeah, I guess, man. Wow, that's fantastic. Okay. Eric, I didn't see a sweeto under you, so my sweeto is my sister finally moved out. Yes. And also...
a celebration. I thought I heard dancing and cheering coming from the West.
Yes, that was my sister moving out. My piece of shit sister, which I hope to never see again, is
Did
gone.
you say pizza shit or piece of shit?
It could be either, because she eats plenty of pizza, so, Let me go back to my stinko. This is what I wrote on my stinko. This Santos expulsion, since you mentioned George Santos, highlighted a very aggravating fact about Congress. Why is it so hard to expel a member of Congress? Why, like... when you the Santos situation is indicative of. And by the way, do you know that there have only been 6 people kicked out of Congress
Yeah.
in the history of Congress?
Usually it's resign. Like
Yeah.
no, I can think of one person who's resigned in like the last 30 years.
Yeah. So, no, not my doppelganger, Scotoma. I look completely opposite of my sister. Trust me on that, Scotoma. I know I'm overweight, but think of 2 of me, Scotoma. You know what I look like, and I know I'm a little overweight, but this girl,
Frank
this
doesn't
girl,
have as much facial hair either.
yeah, she does. Well, that's to be debated. Break. I mean, who knows, man? I mean, I think during the full moon she gains a full-on beard, So, but anyways, so and by the way, Santos is the first Republican ever to be expelled from Congress. It was 5 Democrats before Santos, 5 or 6. I can't remember if Santos is the 6th or 7th. But anyways, why is it so hard? Like, if you have an ethics committee, you have an ethics committee for a reason, right? If you're found to, and I know they're all in on it, they get donor money and all this bullshit,
Yeah.
but there have been several ethics complaints about senators and Congress people in general. If you're found guilty of those, you should be immediately expelled. Let's do a special election. Let's go. I mean, that special election should happen within a week. We're gonna have a special.
I expressed my concerns to Frank earlier, but now I'm worried that they're just gonna install someone who's even worse, like Mike Johnson.
Yeah, no, and I understand your feelings on it, Eric, but I think you're wrong.
It's not that I'm unhappy. It's just that I don't know if I can allow myself to be happy, knowing what's probably coming.
I
next.
can, because there's going to be a special election. And with the special election, there's a plethora of people that, are going to be up for that position, Eric. You got to leave it up to the people, dude. I mean, that's just plain and simple. And I know these people lie all the time to the American people and all that, but
So we're actually going to
usually they don't lie about like their names and where they're from and shit like that. Like Santos lied about like every fucking detail of his life.
Yeah.
Like, it was a ridiculous level of lies. There's
Wow.
no reason it should have taken this long.
Yeah, Freak 5's got a new OLED TV. OLEDs are nice, Freak 5. They're really nice. I agree, Breakman. It shouldn't take an act of Congress to expel. In this case, it should take an act of Congress more often, to expel somebody that's a bad apple. And there's plenty of them in there. And I think
Can we get rid of Pelosi next?
Yeah, Pelosi and Schumer and
She's gonna be there
McConnell.
until the next extinction level event.
I know. And McConnell, same way, Breakman. I don't know how that guy's still alive, to be honest. Whatever. All right, what else? Do you have any more, Break?
What's that?
You have any
No,
more?
I'm done.
Okay. I think we're done with Sweetos and Stinkos. All right, Breakman, did you happen to come up with
Yes, I
the
do
tournament?
have a tournament.
All right,
That's
so
what
let's
you're about to ask.
let's
set it up to share with you.
right.
I should have done that a few minutes ago while we were talking, but
I know, but I will do the free for all soundbite while you do that. All right, we do have a tourney as soon as Breakman gives me the link, which is right there. I kind of see it. Okay, let's pull it up. Best holiday movie of all time, and this is 32, right, Break?
Right, 32
All right,
tournaments.
let's get into it. Let me.
Since we got a lot of time here, let's just start. 32 holiday movies. Mostly Christmas movies, but there are a couple other holidays.
Oh, I like how you seeded them too, Breakman. That's great.
Thanks. I should have done that with the I might change the old bracket to fix it, make it look more like this too.
All right.
So anyway, we're going to go ahead and start with one of the probably 2 of the most well-known Christmas classics: Die Hard versus A Christmas Story. Frank, you can go ahead and start this one out.
Die Hard, easy.
Die Hard.
I mean, yeah, one. I mean, I like Christmas Story, but the funniest parts of the movie are also the most racist parts of the movie. Yeah, which is kind of uncomfortable. Whereas Die Hard's just awesome in every single way. Is there a bad part of that movie? Because I can't think of one.
No, there's no. I mean, it's almost a perfect movie. It's like the Tetris of movies.
It's a good point. Next, we have Bad Santa, which I only put it on here really for Scotoma because he seemed to really like it. Whereas I know I can't stand it. I think Frank might like it or not. Versus Home Alone, which is an all-time Christmas classic, but if you watch it with the eyes of an adult, it does not fucking make sense even slightly. Like that kid would have been dead if it was even if the burglars were even halfway competent, even slightly.
Also, it's a movie about how booshy kids leave their parents leave their kid at home,
No,
and then he commits the castle doctrine
those
on
those
crooks
parents. There
that
should
are
have been.
trying to steal his stuff, and it's about protecting your stuff.
Yeah, there should have been no sequel because those parents should have been in jail.
Well,
But
and the sequel is even worse because at the end of the movie, like his parents do it to him again,
yeah.
and then they come back and they finally they meet up with him in New York, and then they're pissed at him because he ran up a huge credit card bill.
Yeah, they're mad because he ran up a credit card bill. Exactly.
They fucking abandoned him for the second goddamn time.
Even though they're so goddamn rich, they probably just
He should.
But they're
you know
rich,
what?
so they're assholes about it.
Macaulay Culkin should have required an emancipation from those parents after the second one. You know what I'm saying? I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Scotoma says, "Do you know who Dr. John Money is?" I've never heard of that guy, Scotoma. And he also says, "Is Chucky, aka Child's Play, a Christmas movie?" I guess you could consider it a Christmas movie, Scotoma, because
not really, because it only gets the gift for Christmas, but the movie doesn't happen during Christmas. Like it's afterwards.
Oh, is it after? No, isn't it?
Significantly afterwards.
I thought it was very prominently Christmas. Breakman.
I don't think so. We'll have to go back and check on that.
Yeah,
one,
I'm gonna have to watch that
here.
movie again. We'll let you know, Scotoma. And if so, it's an egregious error for Breakman not to put it in this list.
But so you go ahead, you choose then, Bad Santa or Home Alone.
I like how you're so mad at me, Breakman. I'm choosing Home Alone. I'm not as down on Bad Santa as you guys, but I mean, Home Alone's a classic. It's better.
Eric,
I'm voting for Home Alone too because Bad Santa was just.
I didn't think it was that bad. I don't know. Whatever.
This one is an all-time Christmas classic. There's not many on this list. Most of these are more 80s or sooner. Miracle on 34th Street.
Only ever saw the remake of that.
Oh, dude, you've been robbed. The remake is terrible.
Yeah, the remake sucks.
The original is so good. It is it's one of those few black and white movies I'll watch when it's on. I'll just stop and watch every single time.
I'll have to seek it out before or during Christmas time.
Yeah, it's a good one, Eric. You might like it.
I don't have cable, so maybe it's streaming somewhere.
I'm sure it will be.
So we have a movie about a guy who might be Santa Claus versus a guy who becomes Santa Claus in The Santa Claus of Tim Allen. Eric, you get to start.
Here's the weird thing. I have a love-hate relationship with Santa Claus because fuck Tim Allen.
Right. But it's a good movie, I think.
So I'm voting for Santa Claus.
I like I said, Miracle on 34th Street is an all-time
It's the movies that came out after Santa Claus that are really terrible.
I tried to avoid those sequels, that's for sure.
They even have a series on Disney Plus now. It's like
I saw the one where he's got Jack Frost in it or something. It was so
Martin Short is Jack Frost.
Yeah, it was so fucking terrible. Anyway, I'm gonna go with Miracle on 34th Street. I think that's an all-time classic movie. Frank,
I'm also going with Miracle on 34th Street. I can't stand Tim Allen, and I thought Santa Claus was overrated, but that's just me.
Oh, you're wrong, but that's fine. Next, we have a wild one. Is Sinbad and Arnold Schwarzenegger go one-on-one to find the one last toy on Christmas Eve and Jingle All the Way, versus Sandra Bullock, who saves the guy's life who's in a coma, pretends to be his lover, and then falls in love with his brother over Christmas when he's in a coma.
Yeah.
It's a romantic comedy, and it sounds terrible, but it was... Sandra Bullock's charming in the movie, and she makes it seem a lot less horrible than her actions really are.
I'm voting for Jingle All the Way just for showing us just how bad commercialism is.
I'm actually going to root for Jingle All the Way too because Sinbad's great, and he doesn't get enough credit.
I thought Arnold Schwarzenegger was great in that movie. I'm also going with Jingle All the Way, and I think it's a very underrated Christmas movie.
Wow, we are. Have we had agreed? Oh, we agreed on Die Hard. So this is only the second time we've agreed. Awesome. Next, we have Scrooged. the remake of, or update of, I was going to say modern day, but 80s update of the telling of, Scrooge and the ghosts visiting him of past, future, and present versus an angry green guy played by Jim Carrey, who likes to taunt his happy, merry, celebrating Christmas neighbors by stealing all their shit.
See, I never got around to watching the Jim Carrey How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Oh, it's good, Eric.
It's all right. I personally like Jim Carrey, but I think the movie is a bit long. Whereas I think Scrooge, I'm gonna go ahead and start. I think Scrooge it's a fantastic movie. It's one of those movies that hits the high points and hits like the sad points too. Like it'll make you laugh out loud one moment, and the next you're just like, oh God, that's terrible. So Frank, you're next.
You know what? Just to throw a wrench in the machine here, I'm going with Grinch because I thought Jim Carrey was fantastic in that movie. He was born to play the Grinch in a live action adaptation, and I thought it was great. I do think it was a little long, but still.
To me, just like The Mask, like it was a role that requires overacting.
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
for that.
And by the way, Scrooge is a great movie too. I mean, I'm just putting Eric on the spot. I think both movies are great.
I'm voting for Grinch.
Oh, an upset.
As little as I saw of Scrooge, I didn't care for it.
Scrooge is good, Eric. It's a great movie, actually. Probably didn't deserve to be beat by.
Okay, Goldthwait was in that movie, and I think one little cheeky nod to people who are watching is his brother plays his father in the movie.
Yeah.
Like a Rusher moment. Brian Doyle plays his dad, which is funny.
Yeah.
But it's like a sad moment too. But it's like, oh, that's his brother. Wait, oh, okay, whatever. Next we have Deck the Halls, which is Danny DeVito and Matthew Broderick, who we talked about earlier today, in his role in Godzilla. Is they go one-on-one in a Christmas light fight to obviously top each other, versus National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, where one man goes on a Christmas light fight by himself, and they fry a cat and they almost get mauled by a squirrel, and a whole bunch of other shit happens. Frank, you can start.
All right, I'm going with National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I'll tell you why. There was a speech that Chevy Chase did in it, which I think was one of the all-time greatest monologues in movie history, where at the end he's like, we're all going to fucking enjoy this, or whatever he says, and he uses the F word, I think. Yeah. And it was, it was fantastic. I'm going with National.
Goddamn town hall.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah,
was like pledging allegiance to the flag because she forgot where she was.
Yeah, Christmas Vacation is an all-time great Christmas movie. It is, and I believe it's the last great vacation movie, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think there are only really two good vacation movies, honestly.
I liked European. Okay.
I wasn't a big fan of European Vacation, but like the first one, the
first one goes without saying.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Like especially the end when he kidnaps the guy and shit.
Yeah.
Forces him to take him on the ride.
I actually liked the remake with what's his face. I thought it was pretty funny too, but in an adult, very adult way, But yeah, Christmas Vacation for me. Break.
Eric.
Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, I gotta agree. Christmas Vacation.
Also, Eyes Wide Shut was a Christmas movie?
Yes, it was.
Eyes Wide Shut is next. It is a Christmas movie. Going up against another Christmas movie, an underrated one, Batman Returns. That's right.
Didn't we watch this on movie night and we all hated it?
Yes.
I'm surprised for Frank, who apparently likes this movie. I honestly think this is one of his weaker films.
Who?
Eyes Wide Shut.
Oh, okay. Are we okay? Who's going first?
Since you start, go ahead, Eric. You start.
Eric.
That movie. I'm voting for Batman Returns.
I'm sorry, Frank. I want to put you on the spot, but I love Batman Returns. I got to vote for Batman Returns.
Oh, you guys are both fucking wrong. Mm-hmm. Eyes Wide Shut is a fucking brilliant movie. It's slow paced.
It is. Don't get me wrong.
It's just terribly boring.
No, you're.
I shouldn't have paired it up against Batman Returns. Is the problem.
You are absolutely wrong.
Christopher Walken is the villain in it.
Yeah,
Pfeiffer is one of
I
the
know,
hottest
but
virgins
Eyes Wide
Chapman's ever
Shut
been
is a
to.
superior movie by far. It's not even close. I mean, I could school you, Eric, on this one, but I think we'll save that for another day. All right, continuing on.
Yeah, well, and Scuttleman Chat says Dan DeVito did a good job. You're right. Deck to the Halls did not get a fair shot. Like, that's another one. Eyes Wide Shut and Deck to the Halls really didn't get a fair shot. They're going up against juggernauts. Speaking of going up against juggernauts, we have Elf versus Edward Scissorhands, and that'd be the first movie on this list I have not seen. I have not
You
seen
have
it.
not seen Edward Scissorhands?
No, I haven't.
The hell is wrong with
I know.
you, Breakman?
We'll watch it eventually, okay?
Jesus
I
Christ.
was going to watch it earlier, and I got distracted.
It's a fun movie.
There's
Great
a
movie.
couple. I think there's like 4 movies on this list I hadn't seen, so I was trying to watch them. I hadn't seen 8 Crazy Nights, so I did watch that one.
Yeah,
For instance.
all right.
And I'm going to watch Krampus.
Yes, you got to watch Krampus. man.
Okay, I'll watch that one too.
Krampus. You guys got to watch it.
Okay,
It's
is
the one that
Krampus
Edward
on?
Scissorhands is going up against, so I don't really think it's a fair fight. I'm going to go ahead and start. I think Elf was an instant classic. I don't know if anybody else could have played that role as well as Will Ferrell did.
I mean, it's good, but Edward Scissorhands.
Frank?
Okay. Scotoma says his vote doesn't count. I think you're referring to me, Scotoma. How dare you? If you say me, you're exiled. If it's anybody else, you're not exiled. Okay. I'm gonna agree with you, Breakman. I love both of these movies. I think they're both worthy of going on. Edward Scissorhands at 15. The hell is wrong with you, Breakman? But Elf is a juggernaut of a movie, and that's gonna be my pick to win it all. I'm going with Elf. It's not even close.
There was to be that much passion for Edward
I think
Scissorhands.
I think Will Ferrell might be the funniest. I just watched Anchorman 2
I
again
had no idea that
yesterday,
This was a Christmas movie.
and I think Will Ferrell may be the funniest human being to ever live. I honestly believe that.
Fuck you, San Diego.
Yeah, I know. So good, man. The second one wasn't as good as the first, but that scene where they're driving in the toboggan or that RV, and he's like, they're all talking and nobody's driving.
There was a second Elf movie?
No, not Elf.
No,
We're talking about Anchorman. There should be a second Elf movie because
No,
Elf is great.
I don't want to ruin it. No.
How would you do a sequel to that, though?
I don't know, but if somebody could pull it off,
remake or something like that with completely like different story, but don't make a sequel. No, please don't.
oh,
Don't
please
want
make a sequel because I know if anybody could do it, it would be Will Ferrell. I trust Will
The
Ferrell.
whole movie was about him learning that he has a family outside of the North Pole, and him
God, it's so good.
reacclimating to real life.
So good, man. Elf is great. Elf is not only a great Christmas movie, it's in my top 25 movies of all time. It's such a good
I mean, at
movie.
one point he eats fucking spaghetti with Hershey or not Hershey syrup, but maple syrup dripping all over it. Like, it's the grossest fucking thing, and he really did it.
I know.
Oh,
So
He's
good.
so used to eating maple syrup and pancakes.
So good. So good. Okay, let's continue on here.
so Eric, who did you choose?
Oh shit, I'm sorry.
I'm going for Elf.
Yeah.
Okay, Elf moves on unanimously. And next we have, as I said, they're not all Christmas movies. This bracket's going to have more of the other ones, as we have Groundhog's Day taking
Ooh.
on the Polar Express. Polar Express, unfortunately, I've never seen. I'm going to go ahead and
It's
start this one.
terrible.
Groundhog's Day is one of the best movies. It's a fantastic movie. I talked about movies that'll make you laugh and make you cry. Groundhog's Day does that. Frank,
I'm gonna agree. Polar Express is awful. Sucks.
Eric,
It's not even the story, because the book's fine. It's just the movie's got some really uncanny valley CG, and it's got voice actors that are terrible.
Except for
No-
Tom Hanks. I think
Tom Hanks as the conductor is the only good one.
Yeah, I agree.
Strange. Okay, I'm going
The
to vote
next-
for.
Hold on, Eric.
what?
Go
Go
ahead,
for
Break.
Groundhog's Day.
Yeah, I'm going for.
Okay.
Groundhog's Day.
Next we have Strange Days. This is a movie I watched a long time ago, and I don't really remember how it ended.
Oh God,
I
so
was
good.
reading up against it. It had like a weird ending, like a surprise ending. I do not remember how it ended. Versus Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which is a hilarious comedy, which is underrated and overlooked, starring Val Kilmer and Robert Downey Jr. Definitely, if you've not seen Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, you deserve to.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is a great movie, but
I'm gonna go ahead and start. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang's fucking funny as hell. You have to watch the movie. I'm going with that one.
I haven't voted for either of these, but Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is a hilarious title, so it sounds like a hoot of a movie.
Jesus Christ, Eric, how dare you? Strange Days is a better movie by far. I
so
think
you're voting for Strange Days?
Yeah, Strange
I
Days.
don't really care either way.
Strange Days is a highly underrated movie, and it is a Christmas movie.
It's a New Year's Eve movie, actually. It happens on New Year's Eve, 1999.
Well, whatever. Strange Days is good, and it has Juliette Lewis.
So is Kiss Bang Bang about kissing and fucking, or is it about shooting guns after?
Kissing and fucking, kissing and banging. How can he vote for these when he hasn't seen the movie? It's called We Only Have Three Hosts, Scotoma, and we all can't see everything.
Pool. Does anybody want to audition?
I know. Does anybody want to audition? How dare you guys vote for Kiss Kiss Bang Bang over Strange Days? Strange Days is fucking fantastic.
I can't remember if I remember how it ended, maybe, but like I think I blocked it out for good reason.
So fucking good, and it has Juliette Lewis in the nude.
But yeah, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is a really funny fucking movie.
Yeah, it's good. It's pretty fun. I agree. I'm not.
Next, this movie is actually pretty funny. I just watched it this week. Although there are some very questionable things in it. 8 Crazy Nights, Adam Sandler's animated comedy of Hanukkah. It's one of the only 2 Hanukkah things I could find that I'd actually heard of. This one and Fiddler on the Roof.
Yeah,
it's a movie that I've never seen, but kind of always wanted to. But
if you like Adam Sandler kind of humor, with him being crass and mean to everybody, like it's that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure I want to see it because it's like I feel like it's a post Little Nicky movie, and most of those that output was not that great.
I liked Little Nicky. I know I'm in the minority and thinking that, but I thought
I didn't hate it, but it was not as funny as I wanted it to be. But I liked a lot of the like imagery and stuff like that. Like
I just thought
how they portrayed hell and
I like how Adam Sandler did that character. Like the way he talked just made me laugh every fucking time he would talk. I don't know. There's just something about that movie I love. But so who's going on this one? 8
Crazy Nights versus
Poseidon Adventure.
I can't remember if it's Christmas or it's New Year's Day.
Yeah, New Year's.
Poseidon Adventure happens on New Year's Day. It's a disaster movie where the Poseidon flips, and Gene Hackman leads a group of ragtag people. Preacher Gene Hackman, his character's a preacher. Survivors in an attempt to escape this sinking vessel. It's a fantastic movie. I'm going to go ahead and start. As much as I just saw Crazy Nights and I think it's funny, I think Poseidon Adventure is just a great movie all around. And there's a lot of sacrifice and just human elements of survival. Frank, you're next.
Poseidon Adventure, I've said this before, is a very, very underrated movie in general. I'm going with Poseidon Adventure, even though I did like 8 Crazy Nights.
Eric?
I'm not seeing either of these, so whatever. I'm just gonna go based on your recommendation. I'm going for Poseidon Adventure.
All right.
This is one of the sad movies on here, but there is more hope in this one, I think, than the other one that's sad. Well, actually, this one's kind of sad too. End of Days, Arnold Schwarzenegger's also apocalyptic ending movie. I think this one actually happens in 1999.
I thought this movie was terrible.
Versus Nightmare Before Christmas, which I've tried to watch it and I just can't get through it. I just so I'm gonna go ahead and start because I actually do enjoy End of Days. It is a sad movie, but it's the first time we saw Arnold actually acting like a vulnerable character. I think for that, like he'd always been like gusto and bravado and stuff like that, but his character starts out suicidal.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with End of Days. Frank?
I love End of Days, Breakman, but I love Nightmare Before Christmas even more. And I shame on you for not having seen this movie all the way through. It is a fantastic.
I just couldn't get through it.
It's a fantastic Christmas movie, and it's a fantastic Halloween movie. And I am definitely in the camp of Nightmare Before Christmas, so I'm leaving it up to Eric.
Eric, you're the tiebreaker.
I didn't I didn't care for the End of Days, honestly. I think it and the Eighth Day were like Arnold's worst movies.
Eighth Day was bad, but End of Days was I thought pretty good. But
also, I didn't care for Erase. The plot of Erase was terrible too.
All right, so what are you going with?
Or not Erased. It was called.
Eraser was awesome.
Yeah,
I like Eraser. Like at the end, he gets those mobsters.
True Lies was great
things,
too,
like,
man.
He's like, yeah, we're gangs. Like we're bad guys, but we're American bad guys.
Skunma says Eric's vote don't count. It has to
I'm voting
count
for Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, it's pretty easy choice, man.
Nightmare Before Christmas moves on. Next, we're gonna go against maybe I shouldn't put these together.
God,
but,
this is so tough.
Christmas classic, and actually, this one's kind of cheating because New Year's plays into this movie too. Trading Places.
God, it's so good, man.
It's
Jesus
such a
Christ.
fucking good movie. I mean, on the train, he's dressed as the monkey, and
you get the added bonus of
Santa.
Jamie Lee Curtis boobs in this movie.
Mhm.
If you see the unrated one or the unedited one, I should say. God, Trading Places.
Jack
so
Lemmon, and who was the other guy with the bad guy?
It's
with
not
him?
Jack Lemmon. It's Don Amici and.
Don Amici. You're right. I'm sorry, Don Amici and.
What the fuck is the other guy's name? And you know what? They made an appearance in another movie as those same characters as bums, and I can't remember what movie that was.
Coming to America.
Yeah, Coming to America. That's right. You're right.
He gives them money as they're begging.
Yeah. So good.
Like they've gone broke, and that's where they ended up in Coming to America, which is pretty funny. But Trading Spaces, I think, is an all-time classic movie. Just period. It's one of those movies I don't have to. It doesn't have to be Christmas time for me to watch. Versus Krampus, which I'm going to watch this week. I'll go ahead and start since I haven't seen Krampus. Trading Places. Frank.
I'm going with Krampus, Breakman. As much as I love Trading Places, I love Krampus, and I think Krampus is an all-time Christmas movie, and it's unique, and it has such a fucking scary ending. When you think about the grand scheme of things, it is fantastic. It slightly edges. There's a reason these are the 8th and 9th seeds. This is a tough choice, but it's Krampus, man. It can't be anything but Krampus. Matter of fact, I'm saying Krampus is a dark horse to win this whole thing.
Ooh, interesting. Mine's Groundhog's Day. Eric, what do you want? You're a tiebreaker. Oh, Krampus, not even a question. Krampus moves on. That is
so
sad.
good.
Trading Places is such a fucking great movie.
I agree, but this is another case of putting it against the wrong movie.
I didn't know Lethal Weapon was a Christmas
Yes,
movie.
it is.
Lethal Weapon is a Christmas movie. Lethal Weapon is, in fact, on this list, and if Lethal Weapon doesn't move on, I'm quitting the show. Lethal Weapon is going to take on the saddest movie on this list, Jack Frost.
Dude, come on. I'm going to...
You mean the movie with Michael Keaton?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, you are thinking the Michael Keaton.
He's reincarnated in a snowman, but it's the kid's dead father. The movie's fucking sad as hell.
Yeah, it's Lethal Weapon. I think we're all gonna agree. Let's move on.
What do you want, Eric?
Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon is a fucking great movie. And
Lethal Frost.
Too old for this shit.
No, I mean there are definitely questionable things. Like there's the homophobia is blatant in that movie now, but they're such. I've said before about like Danny Glover.
Scottum is exiled. You son of a bitch.
Like those two guys were meant to work together. Like Hiddleston and Owens, like they're meant to work together, or Wilson.
I love those. All 4 of those movies are pretty good, actually. Breakman, the Lethal Weapon movies.
I actually did like all of the Lethal Weapon movies. I know a lot of people were like after the second one they hated them, but I liked all of them.
I liked them all too. I thought Joe Pesci was awesome.
The third, fourth one where they
Jet Li.
at the end.
Yeah, I know. Like Jet Li would have kicked the shit out of both of them. It's like not even close.
Also, like. I don't know why, but there's several episodes of Sunny that have them just remaking Lethal Weapon films.
No, it's great. It's fantastic. They yeah. Anyway,
and like the characters went blackface for the black characters.
Why did you put these 2 movies up against each other, Breakman?
Out of space. Gremlins, as Mrs. Breakman made sure was on the list. Yes, Gremlins is definitely on the list and is most definitely a Christmas movie. Whoever said it wasn't a moron. Versus Black Christmas, which obviously is Christmas.
God damn, Black Christmas so good, man.
I'm going to let, since Frank's torn on this one, Eric, we'll go ahead and start.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing Black Christmas, so I'm voting for Gremlins.
You know what? Okay. I already know what Breakman. So I'm just doing this as a protest vote. But I'm voting for Black Christmas because it's so fucking good. It's a great horror movie.
The Ghostbusters 2 isn't Christmas. It's New Year's.
It's
right?
New Year's Eve, yeah. And New Year's
Freak
Day,
5
or
is
New Year's-
exiled, you son of a bitch.
Like the end of the movie happens at New Year's. So. Anyway, so I'm gonna. I was gonna actually say Black Christmas just to put Frank on the spot, but since you didn't, Gremlins, because I love Gremlins.
Oh, damn it. I should have let you go first, you son of a bitch. Black Christmas, by the way, if you guys haven't seen that, that's an inspiration for a ton of slashers after it. And it's fucking scary. It's creepy. You guys need to watch Black
Hey,
Christmas
Frank,
too.
did you ever get around to seeing Thanksgiving?
Which one?
Thanksgiving.
I did not. I'm not an Eli Roth fan, and
I knew it. So it's like you probably won't watch it.
Yeah, because Eli Roth is a piece of shit, and
he apparently wants to make a sequel to it already.
Yeah, I don't know.
We've got one thing left, and we're running out of time.
Yeah, let's go.
Ran out of time, actually. The show's next time.
Yeah.
All right, last one. Ghostbusters 2, as I said, this is a New Year's Eve movie, versus Ernest Saves Christmas. Frank, you can start.
You know what? I like Ghostbusters 2, but I'm going to go against the grain here, and I'm going to throw a wrench in things and go for the 15th seed, because in the NCAA men's basketball tournament, there's always a 15 seed that beats a number 2 seed. I'm going Ernest Saves Christmas.
This isn't a basketball tournament, though. This is our own opinions. I'm going to go Ghostbusters 2. I personally, I don't think many people love Ernest Saves Christmas, but I do. I loved Ernest's movies for a point, and then they started going.
Know what I mean?
But yeah.
I think after Ernest Scared Stupid and the Saves Christmas, they just kind of went off the rails.
Yeah, true. That's true. But in Ghostbusters 2, because I've said before, it's one of my top 10 movies. Especially the sewer scene is probably the best scene I've ever seen in any movie. When they're yelling for echoes, and he yells, and Winston's like, "Hey!" and all of a sudden the voice is.
Although I do think Ernest Goes to Jail is pretty good, though. So.
Oh yeah, when he becomes Electro Man. Yeah. Frank, you're next.
I said Ernest Saves Christmas just because of 15.
You're right. Frank, Eric, you're the tiebreaker.
I'm gonna go with Ghostbusters 2.
Ooh,
nice.
It moves on. That saved Ghostbusters 2, and that might be a big run for Ghostbusters 2. Although I don't know. Going up against Gremlins next. Jesus Christ, that's a Titanic matchup.
Yeah,
Fuck.
Let me see here. So, Groundhog's Day survived. Looks like we've got 2 New Year's Eve movies that survived, and then everything else is Christmas.
Yeah, you should have put Thanksgiving in this list. Thanksgiving would have been a great movie to put here.
I didn't even think of Thanksgiving because I was trying to think of
Christmas,
December things, but then it was like, well, Groundhog's Day should be on the list.
Yeah, I know.
It's never on any list. That's not fair. Groundhog's Day is a holiday.
Yeah, you guys got to watch Krampus before next week.
Yeah,
seriously, because otherwise, I know where this tourney is going. Watch Krampus.
I need to watch Krampus and Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah.
You know it lost.
Can I watch those anywhere?
Krampus you can watch on Amazon. I think there's other places you can watch it too. Eric.
Is Scissorhands on Disney?
Yes, I believe it is.
I saw it on
because I think it's a Miramax movie, so Disney owns that.
Yeah,
it was on Max when I went to watch it.
Yeah, Max too. Yeah.
Well, yeah, they put it on Max because Disney's got this weird agreement with Max where they put some of their stuff on to save money because that's what they do now.
Yeah.
I honestly did go to watch it earlier. I was about 2 minutes into it, so
yeah. Well, April Fool's Day is a great movie. Freak 5, I agree. But you're also exiled for your previous comment.
I didn't know that was a movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie. I think it's a great movie. So I'm with Freak 5 on that. All right, so that's it.
Is Trading Places anywhere I can watch?
Ooh, I don't know, Eric. It should be somewhere.
I might have to go to Voodoo for that.
It's a great movie, dude. I mean, if you pay $5 for it, I think it's on sale now for $5. Pay the $5, Eric. It's great. And it's immensely.
Or those Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and the other movie.
Yeah. Feel free.
Are those streaming?
Kiss Bang Bang, I believe, is streaming somewhere. I saw it somewhere. I know Krampus is on Amazon Prime because I just looked it up. So there you go. All right.
Strange Days now.
Strange Days, so good. So good.
I'm
Okay.
gonna have to watch it again because I cannot remember how the movie ended.
You don't? God, you gotta
No,
watch
I
it. dude.
can't. I don't know. Like I remember watching all of it, and I can't remember how it fucking ended.
You gotta watch it again, dude. Ray Fiennes.
Looks like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang isn't free anywhere. They've got
Maybe on Tubi. Try
Amazon and Vudu, but you got to pay for it.
Yeah, try Tubi. Tubi has a lot of these movies that you can't find anywhere else. Or Pluto or Tubi. All right, we got to end the show because we got a couple things to discuss after the show. Plugs quickly, please. Breakman.
I have nothing to plug.
Oh, poor Breakman. Well, maybe soon you'll have your Blue Sky account going.
I know. I need to do that. I need to do it.
I know.
Right.
Eric, plugs quickly, please.
You can find my reviews on bostonpassbrigade.com or the audio feed for the show. And this week I've got my review of Astleba Revision on the feed. And if you like either of those two things and you want to support me, there's a link to my Patreon and my Twitter profile or my Blue Sky profile. It's Eric at EricRPG.
All right. You can follow me on social media, Frank Branches. You can follow me on any of the systems, gaming systems, RPGrinders. Thanks to everybody in chat, especially Freak5 and Scotoma for always being here every week. All the lurkers like Oriana, Wanella, Lonely Girl, that's a new one, Alicidra, ASMR Miyu, Commander Root, Donk7, Drapsnat Lurks, Mark Zink, Merksy, and VL Mercy or Vi Mercy. I don't know how you.
I thought you were about to say Mick Foley for a second. Like what?
Speaking of that should have been on my Sweetos Breakman real quickly. I bought like these random wrestling autographs, 2 packs for $10 each, and they come with 5, kind of grab bag autographs. One of the autographs I pulled was a Mick Foley autograph, so it was pretty awesome. That was worth it alone. So, all right. Stay safe out there. We want to see you back here next week. Until then, we are out. Later, everybody. Have a great weekend.
You can thank that.
Freak5 is exiled just because I want to exile him. Exile. All right, everybody in chat, thank you guys so much. Freak and Scotoma, we got to go. We got just something to discuss after. But later, guys, have a great day and...